everybody. Dave Scott, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM, along with Jake Schaff and our good friend from the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission and a ham radio and communications expert. Phil Ross is here with us as well, and we'll get into all that and talk about why we're here, what's going on. But it is the annual open house here at Fire Station number 1. Jake Schaff, I've done this for a million years. But is this your first one?
This is my second one, Dave, and it hasn't changed at all since what I saw last year. Everything looks great. It's so great to see so many people out here. Everybody's having such a great time. I see West Bloomfield Parks. I see Henry Ford Health. So many people out here to benefit the West Bloomfield Fire Department, and it's so great to see.
And this all happens in synchronization with National Preparedness Month. I know you've been reporting on that quite a bit at Civic Center TV, and it gives us the unique opportunity to talk about emergency preparedness with communications and the things we're doing at Civic Center TV, but also gives us an opportunity to learn what the fire department is doing and talk about fire safety in the home. So we're going to get into a lot of that today as well. Should be a lot of fun. Let me introduce Phil Ross officially. Phil, you need to bring your microphone up to your mouth and say hello. You know all about that, though. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. This is a great turnout. It's a great event. This is about the third year I've been here, and it's just a wonderful opportunity for the neighborhoods to come out and see what your fire department's doing.
So first of all, before we get into our stuff, there's so many things for the kids here. That camera, okay. There's so many things for the kids here, all kinds of chance and opportunity to learn about fire safety in your home, about interacting with the fire department. And Phil, really, we were all little kids. Didn't we all grow up wanting to be firemen or firewomen or fire persons?
You're pressing my memory to go that far back, but probably. I think we all did at one time.
Well, one of the really exciting things going on here today from our perspective, we're going to take some time to talk about, is emergency communications. And no one knows that subject in our family and group of friends and people that we know than you. Phil, you are a lifelong amateur radio operator and communications expert, and you've been involved in all of this for so many years and had an opportunity to work with Oakland County and other municipalities and the amateur radio, ham radio synonymous, the ham radio community in helping to support emergency services during critical situations.
Yes, that is correct. A lot of people don't understand how important that is, to have a backup system. I don't know if the camera can show our slogan back here. It says, when all else fails. The complicated communication systems that your West Bloomfield Fire Department and Police Department use is a very sophisticated system, and it is prone to failure at some point. And hopefully that never happens, but if it does, we can operate with radios like these and don't need any serious infrastructure and provide backup communication when necessary.
So that's one of the things that we're going to more aggressively promote in the community and let people know how they can get involved in emergency preparedness and emergency communications and how they can sign up and be a part of it. And people that come here today, if you get an opportunity, we'll demonstrate the radios and how they work, and the opportunity. Jake, maybe this would be something you'd be interested in, the opportunity to join a communications club, get a radio, be able to talk to other people that are engaged in communications, and then get involved in community events like this, and also get involved in opportunities when there might be an emergency or a bad line of weather coming through. I mean, that's even more fun than anything else that's going on in your life, right?
It sounds like a lot of fun, and definitely provides a lot of great opportunities for people in the community to get involved, to be up to date with this news, and to be able to share that news with everybody else. There's so many great opportunities here, Dave.
So we're going to talk today about how it all works. And Phil Ross, the chairperson of the Cable Communications Commission and also longtime ham radio operator here with us today. Phil, there are already in our communities of West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, and Kingo Harbor, a number of amateur radio operators, and we want to call to all of them to get involved with us as well.
Yes, absolutely. We do have quite a few in the West Bloomfield, Kingo Harbor, Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake area, and it would be great if they could all join a club that we've started. And anybody else can too. You don't have to be a ham radio operator. You can. There's some stepping stones along the way. Ham radio is not as hard to get into as it used to be. There's no longer a Morse code requirement. So it's just involved taking a few tests, which is very easy to learn, and you can get there. But if you want to start with communication and you don't even want to deal with a test, there's another service called GMRS. That can get you a stepping stone into how to use radios, and that requires no test, just a fee to the FCC, and you get a license. And then you get radios can be gotten very inexpensively. It's, believe it or not, as low as like $10 on Amazon, and you can get involved with that community, and that usually is a stepping stone into the ham radio community.
Well, it is. It's a great opportunity to get involved, easier than when we got going. And we'll play with all this stuff a little bit today as we have an opportunity to talk about it. But this is a great spot to come, learn what's going on. You can sign up today and become a member of one of our communications clubs and get a Lakes FM sticker or magnet for your refrigerator or your car. Sign up for our email communications while you're here, and just come by and say hello. Tyler Keefe will be here. The rock star of our operation. He's coming shortly, and he'll be sharing some information. Jake, you're going to take an opportunity and walk around a little bit, right? And you'll be talking to some of the other exhibitors. You can hear the announcer saying that there's going to be a grease fire here. I mean, normally I don't get too excited about a grease fire, but to be able to see a grease fire and watch them put it out, pretty cool, huh?
I mean, this might be one of the better places for a grease fire to occur because we're surrounded by people who we know can take care of it. But yeah, there's so much fun here, so many great people. Everybody's here to support the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Everyone is here to have a great time, and I can't wait to talk to everybody.
Phil, I got no problem with grease, and I don't have a problem with fire, but you put those two together, and that's something you really got to know how to deal with. And Absolutely. It's the kind of thing that can happen in people's homes.
I know. I think most people think you throw water on a grease fire, and I understand.
That's not what you do?
I don't think that's what you do at all.
What do you do?
I think from what I've seen,
you get rid of the oxygen, right?
I think you smother it. You have to cover it with something, hopefully not flammable.
All right, well, we're going to find out because we'll get the experts. Jake, why don't you feel free to mosey around and go find us a story, okay?
Absolutely.
You'll do that. And I'm Dave Scott here at the West Bloomfield Township Fire Department number 1. If you're watching this live, the event is going on live on Sunday, and it's going on until 3 o'clock. So you're invited to come on down and be a part of all the fun that's going on here. There are tons of kids. I don't know if we can swing one of the cameras around and take a look at all the kids and all the fun that's going on here. But you can probably hear in the background, Phil, there's a ton of kids all having a great time here, enjoying everything that's going on. And
yeah, I'm watching all these kids running around. They're just they're enthralled. They're focused, and they're loving all the activities. And we got the mascot here, the Sparky, and they're loving him. So it's a great time. Bring your kids down.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. We'll talk to some of the people that are here, and maybe we'll be able to see the grease fire, or at least learn more about it. I see Chief Flynn here. He'll get a chance to say hello at some point, and a whole lot more. So thank you for joining us, Dave Scott and the whole crew here from Civic Center TV and our simulcast on 89.3 Lakes FM live at Fire Station number 1 in West Bloomfield, and we'll be back in just a moment. welcome back. Dave Scott here at Fire Station number 1 for the West Bloomfield Township Fire Station Open House, live at Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and social media everywhere. And joining us now, he is the chief of the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Get to look at your shirt to make sure that was you, Greg Flynn.
It's such a treat to be the fire chief here, Dave.
So tell us what's going on here and why we do this every year.
Well, I think the overarching theme is that fire is everyone's fight. And this is an opportunity to bring the community together and see just not the resources, the fire trucks and the fire gear and our friends in law enforcement and some of the things they use, but fire prevention. Fire is an important part of our lives. It warms our homes, it cooks our food, but left unchecked, it can be devastating and immediately change lives and have an impact on lives for the years to come.
Well, I was just saying a minute ago that grease is okay and a fire is okay, but a grease fire is definitely not.
Well, you know, and Lieutenant Inspector Donovan's going to do that demo, and people are always amazed when that water hits that grease that the fire, you know, is 10 times bigger than what it was had you done nothing or simply done the right thing by simply covering the fire with a lid.
All right, so in our homes, we definitely want to have a fire extinguisher. We want to know where it is, right? And have it available, correct?
For sure.
But there are other things that we need. I mean, our fire extinguisher, would that put out a grease fire?
So remember, we have the fire triangle. So we have heat, we have the fuel, and we're going to have oxygen. And so anything we can do to break that triangle somewhere along the way is what's going to do that. So the fire extinguisher, that fire extinguisher is actually taking away the oxygen. It puts a blanket over that and smothers the fire out. So I think we're going to be competing with this as he goes through.
Okay.
So
our mics are real close.
All right, very good.
You can't hear, but they can hear us. Don't worry, it's okay.
Very good. So I think having a fire extinguisher is important. I think that having a working smoke alarms that we check, you know, and so many of them now, Dave, are connected. So in my home, there's I think they call it a Bluetooth web or network that all of those smoke alarms are programmed. So the one near my kitchen, I program it as kitchen, and when any of my smoke go off, it tells me basement, kitchen, bedroom. So now we know where the fire is, and then we would execute the escape plan. And I think we think of escape plans only for kids. And I'm going to tell you, my youngest is going to be 19 this year. When I moved him into his dorm at East Lansing, Go Spartans, I went over the escape plan with him. This is where you're going to get out. If this is blocked, this is your secondary egress. You're never too old to have an escape plan. And I think that's, again, a message that we bring out here in Fire Safety Month, week. Every day is Fire Safety Day, is that we all have a responsibility.
It is exceptionally loud in here. I will give you that. Maybe we can work on that before the day is over. But so how do you make that decision? Is there and maybe it's different in every case. But how do you make that decision? Fight the fire or escape? You know, we strongly encourage people just to get out of the house and let us come in and put the fire out.
But I think the practical side of us comes in, and when I'm sitting there looking at a small fire on my stove, and I have a lid right there, and I can just simply slide the lid over, I'm going to do that. And we want our citizens to think critically.
Sure.
We don't want an excited response or grab this fiery liquid fuel and try to move with it, and as you spill that, if you were to spill it, it'll spread the fire. So it's making good decisions. You know, an item that comes up often in discussions are these fire blankets that you see advertised.
That's what I was thinking about, yeah.
And if we use the fire triangle again, it makes sense. The challenge with a fire blanket, with the lids, once we cover it, we just don't peek. Don't look at it, because as soon as you lift that blanket, you add the oxygen, and the triangle comes back together, and the heat and fuel are still there, and it reignites, and it can be even more dangerous.
Well, I don't know if we saw that over the corner of Greg Flynn there or not, but they just put the fire out, the grease fire out outside, and great team. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad that they were able to do that and show people. I've had that happen on a barbecue. Of all the places, you know, you're outside, you're a little less worried outside of your home, but you get a serious grease fire in a barbecue on your back deck, that can turn into a problem real quick.
And I would encourage, if that was them, they just put the lid on it. Yeah, I would put the camera on that, because what they're going to show is when somebody puts water on that and what happens to the fire when you do that, and how the water, if you were to pour water onto grease, you immediately see it separate and disperse. It's not going to put that fire out. What it's going to do is spread it, and some of that water vapor is going to go up, and it's going to take oil with it, and that oil is going to ignite, and you're going to have fire everywhere. So we try to demo these types of things at the fire open house so people realize, like, hey, I won't do that. They showed me what not to do, and they showed me that if I was to throw that water on it, and my cabinets, my wood cabinets, my veneer cabinets, all combustibles, my curtains, all those things nearby, all of those then spontaneously ignite and now we have a full-blown kitchen fire. All of it from a small fire contained within what we would say contained within a cooking vessel. That's how we code those fires, when we keep it inside the cooking vessel.
It's so good to talk to you, because I was just thinking on the way over here today of all the video packages we put together over the years. I've been at Civic Center TV covering heroic events by the fire department, things that would have been so much worse had you not responded. What is it like to be on the front line for your crew and yourself in fighting these fires? When you get to a home, it's deeply engulfed, there are people there, and moments really count.
Well, I think it's something that maybe our residents, it's good. I don't think that they are expected to completely and fully understand our emergency operations, but you know, the team that is on duty, our operations team, and the way that we deploy services inside of the 4 communities served by the WBFD, Dave, it is really remarkable that you don't see more headlines, and it's because of the quick and rapid intervention and the pre-planning and the training and the courageous professionals that, you know, and here they go. They're leaving the station right now, going on a call. So
there's a call coming out of this station right now.
Well, there's probably multiple calls, and now they're pulling out of this station because we bring a lot of resources because we want the residents to see it. But even if you were walking the grounds here, things are set up to deploy if needs in the community start to come up. So you'll even see the tower truck come down and go fully into response mode. If we go 2 or 3 more calls deep, they'll be putting that truck into service. It's what we do, and you don't have to think about it when you're at home, because we're thinking about those types of things for you, and that's our job, and we're very honored to do that here in West Bloomfield.
Well, you do it with great distinction and service to the community, and we appreciate it. I'll let you go. I know you got other people to talk to. Before we go, I think this is going to be the last time in this environment that we're together for an open house at Fire Station number 1. You got a major project coming up here. Tell people briefly about it.
Well, we plan to, and we've been working through the Capital Improvement Committee on a multi-year presentation here, build-up for the meeting on October 20th, where we'll go before the board with the entire plan and recommended budget for renovation here at Fire Station number 1. You know, Dave, the station's been here since the early 70s when it went in service, designed for the volunteer firefighters at the time, and we've grown a lot since the 1970s. And were
there any women in that volunteer fire crew back in the 70s? Probably not, or very few.
Not to my recollection or hearing any of the history. I don't see any of that reflected, but we do today, very much so. The fire department today looks very different, but performs with the same commitment, dedication, and professionalism.
But I mean, that's just a glaring example that they didn't put women's restrooms in fire stations back then, and then there's a million other things and technical reasons why, and facilities reasons why it's time for an upgrade.
Well, even the size of fire apparatus, Dave, like the height of these doors, fire trucks have to be custom designed and shortened the height bring down so it can go in and out of this station. So we'll be future proofing in the design so we don't have those issues. The doors will be wide enough, the roof will be tall enough, and I really am excited for the community to get excited about what the Fire Station 1 here in front of the high school is going to look like.
So I'll let you go. Just one final comment. I traveled around the state and at a lot of events and see a lot of people, and every time I see somebody wearing a jacket and I see that badge on it, I ask them, do you know Greg Flynn in West Bloomfield? And they all start to smile. And I mean, you've been doing this for a while. You've had a big impact. You and your department had a big positive impact, not only in our community, but statewide and likely beyond.
Well, we're grateful to a community that supports the mission. And there's one thing that this community has always said to their public safety, specifically to the fire, rescue, EMS, and they've said yes. And that's what the men and women of the WBFD step into when that bell goes off and the lights come on. They're ready to respond, and we take a great deal of pride and honor and have the privilege of serving West Bloomfield, Kego, Sylvan, and Orchard.
Thanks for your hard work, Greg Flynn. Extend my thanks to your entire team.
Will do.
And good to have you here. We're going to have some
go Lions, go people. Tigers.
Yeah,
let's do it.
By the way, thanks for scheduling this on a night when there's Monday Night Football tomorrow, and I don't have to miss a Lions game to be here. Good job. I appreciate it.
Love it.
All right, Greg Flynn, he is the chief of the West Bloomfield Fire Department. We're going to take another really quick break, and we will be back in just a moment. I'm Dave Scott. I see Tyler here. Jake is here. Phil Ross is here. There's so many people to talk to, and a zillion other people we want to talk to as well. We'll be back. You're watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. All right, welcome back, Dave Scott. Tyler Keefe is here somewhere. We'll get a chance to chat with him in just a couple of minutes. Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, on TV, cable, on the radio, on social media, Facebook, YouTube. And if you're not watching this live, just go search for the West Bloomfield Township Fire Open House, and you will be able to enjoy all that's going on here. One of the hardest working reporters on television in all of America, ladies and gentlemen, is with us. It's our own Jake Schaff, and we'll send it over to Jake right now.
Hey, Dave, glad to be back with you. As I said earlier, so many people are out here today to celebrate the West Bloomfield Fire Department and to lend their services and their time to making sure that this event goes swimmingly. So many great organizations here today, including Alana's Foundation. And here joining me right now, we have Zach Yaksich of Alana's Foundation. Zach, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's a wonderful day.
Absolutely, it is a wonderful day. It is a little cloudy outside, but that has not slowed down the fun at all. So for those who may not be aware, could you tell us a little bit about Alana's Foundation real quickly?
Sure. Alana's Foundation was formed in memory of my daughter, Alana, who unfortunately passed away in 2003 from complications from the flu. So our mission is to go out and educate the public of how dangerous the flu is, how important it is to get yourself vaccinated, to protect yourselves, family members, and the community at large, and that you can prevent tragedies such as that with something as simple as a vaccine. It's a vaccine preventable disease, so and that's what we do.
That's absolutely right. All very important information for everybody to be aware of to make sure that they don't get sick. And you're offering some great resources for everybody here from Greater West Bloomfield today. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We're here. We're here to knock down two of the barriers to getting the shot is convenience and affordability. So we're here. We're bringing the shot to you. If you're here with your family, you can avoid the troubles of going to the doctor and making an appointment for each family member, missing school and so forth. So bring your family in. You can get yourself vaccinated. The Visiting Nurses Association is here. They administer the vaccine. Some people are concerned when they see me sitting back there. I'm not a doctor, but the foundation is here. They do, as far as cost, the Nurses Association accepts insurance, but if you don't have insurance or it's not accepted by them, the foundation will gladly pay for your vaccine.
I love that, making sure you're helping as many people as possible. I love to hear it, Zach. What have people been telling you today in terms of what you provide, in terms of the help that you're providing for Greater West Bloomfield?
They're just thankful, like I said, the things that I mentioned, that it's convenient, that they can bring their family here, they can avoid having to make a appointment for the doctors, and avoid having to pay the doctor visit fees. And we have families that come here. We've been here every year. We're fortunate enough to be here, that wait and bring their entire family here. So they're just glad and happy that we're here providing this convenience for them and allowing them to, most importantly, protect themselves and their families against the flu.
That's right. And as you just said, you've been helping out the West Bloomfield Fire Department for quite a while. What has it been like to build that relationship with the fire department and to be able to use that to help spread your message even further?
Yeah, well, the fire department, this is near and dear to our hearts and near and dear to the fire department as well, because they were the first responders to my daughter when she got sick. So they always welcome us with open arms, and it just means a lot to both parties here and to protect the community at large. So.
Well, I love that, Zach, and I love everything that you're doing to help the fire department today. Where can people go to gain a little bit more information about Alana's Foundation and some of the future events you might have coming up?
Absolutely. You can visit us at alanasfoundation.org. Visit our webpage. We have an email there. If you don't find what you're looking for, feel free to send an email. We'll respond to you as quickly as possible.
Hope to have a lot of people help out. Zach, thank you so much. Love talking to you. Hope you have a great time.
Thank you so much.
So many great resources here. We love it. We love it, Dave. We love it, Dave. So many great resources here. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Jake. We are broadcasting right in the middle of a fire garage, so we can't prevent the fact that people are walking around in front of our cameras and stuff. In fact, I think it's kind of cool television and radio. For those of you on the radio, you can't see it. For those of you on TV, you're getting a chance to see our community because we are right smack dab in the middle of everything with our brand new virtual television setup here. That's something we'll talk a little bit more about in the coming hours here. We get a minute or two. A new way that Civic Center TV is covering our community. Very exciting. We're also here today with all of our emergency communications apparatus and your opportunity to get involved in the community through communications with the all-new West Bloomfield Radio Club. Phil Ross directly involved in that, and also the chairperson of the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission is here, and we'll chat with him in just a minute. But ladies and gentlemen, we couldn't keep him off camera all day long. Lo and behold, there he is, and we actually have a clear shot via camera right now to our own Tyler Keefe. Tyler, take it away.
Appreciate it, Dave. I'm alongside Captain Blake Belsky at the Fire Department Open House. So much of what you're doing today is helping people prepare for any kind of emergency that can happen out in the community, but they can also happen in the home. And when they do happen in the home, they tend to be medical emergencies, and in many cases, they require CPR. So give us a little bit of an overview of what you're demonstrating for people of all ages here today.
Absolutely. So what we've heard from the American Heart Association is that 90% of all sudden cardiac arrests happen in the home. So we want everyone to be prepared. This could be a loved one that you live with, someone who's visiting, or it could be someone that you're visiting at their house, see them at Kroger, but we want everyone to be prepared for a sudden cardiac arrest. And the best way we have found is hands-only CPR. There's a lot of other steps for more advanced providers, whether it's providing rescue breaths or medications, but we can teach anybody in about 60 seconds how to do hands-only CPR. So before we come over here and do it, the important thing is if someone needs hands-only CPR, before we even start, we want to call 911 and get help on the way. And then all it is pressing hard and fast on the center of their chest. So we can come over here. And anyone can do this. You find the center of their chest, put one hand on top of the other, and press down hard and fast. You got it.
Live demonstration too. We're getting the kids involved also today. And that's what's important about this too. Hands-only CPR can be done by anybody, not just adults, not just people with some CPR experience. Yeah. It really is, as you saw, a kid walks up, you can just teach them by demonstrating, by showing them on one of these dummies in about less than a minute how to do this properly. Why is it important that people learn a specific technique for providing CPR?
So we want to make sure that the compressions are as effective as we can. What we need is that blood to be circulating through the body the entire time. And as long as that blood is circulating, we can go a few minutes without even providing a rescue breath if that's not something that people are comfortable with or have the training to do. But we want to make sure that every second that goes by that blood isn't being circulated, we're reducing the chances of survival. So anything we can do to make sure that we're increasing those odds of survival once the paramedics from West Bloomfield Fire Department show up, we want to make sure everyone's got the training.
And of course, that training is really important. It's also important to be prepared for the communications end of it too. That's sort of what we're emphasizing today. And there is a certain element of communication when you have a medical emergency and first responders are coming. Those first maybe 10 to 15 seconds of letting you know any updates that may have occurred between when someone called 911 and when the paramedics do arrive. What should people be keeping in mind when you do arrive, those last communications with your paramedics before they intervene or as they're intervening?
So one thing that we always tell people is when you call 911, especially for a CPR type situation, leave the phone on speakerphone, put it right by the person's head, and our dispatchers will be able to walk you through what you should be doing and also being able to gather any information that they think would be useful for the firefighters and paramedics to be getting on the way there. Once we arrive, we're going to ask all sorts of questions as we take over care. If you know the person, if you know how old they are, what happened that led up to this event, and any other pertinent information that those folks might need, medications or allergies or medical history, anything that we can pass on to the hospital when we take that person in that we think the physicians will need.
That's why coming out to this fire department open house today is really important. You can get this information in advance and then prepare yourself for these situations. I had a couple of different sets of cardiac arrest incidents over the past few years, and that definitely taught me some preparedness actions that I can have in place, some information in case it happens yet again at any point in the future. So people can learn that today and get that information from you. Captain Belsky, before we send it back to Dave and company, anything else that people should know about your hands-only CPR exhibit here today?
Well, hands-only is a great introduction to CPR. If anyone's interested in a full AHA Heart Saver course, that is something that we offer on the first Monday of every other month at the fire station in the evening. If you're interested, please call the administrative offices. We do have a class coming up in October, and we'd love to see as many people there as are interested.
We dove into that extensively recently on the Splash Live. You can hear even more about that course on demand, CivicCenterTV.com. Alongside Captain Blake Belsky, I'm Tyler Keith. We'll send it back to Dave Scott.
Thank you very much, Tyler. Very informative. We saw almost all of that. And for those of you watching on TV, it's important that you capture some of the fun and excitement of what's going on here. We're including that in all of our shots today. So thank you for joining us. Fire Station number 1. This is a very big day here because this event has been going on. The Fire Station Open House has been going on for several years here. And this is a monumental occasion today. This is the last time this will happen here until, and then the building's going to be renovated. And I don't know, they might move this to some other facility, or better yet, we might come back here and be able to see this amazing Fire Station number 1 after it's all renovated. Joining us now is Jeff Litkowski. He is the training captain for the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Jeff, Captain Litkowski, how should I address you, sir?
Jeff is perfect,
Jeff
Dave.
is okay.
Yes, it is. Thank you for being here, and thanks for having me.
Well, no problem. It's a privilege. And I already told Flynn, I said, very good this year, not scheduling this during a Lions football game. That worked out really well.
It does help quite a bit, yeah.
We have him trained now. It took a little while.
It took many years, right?
It took a little while. We haven't trained.
And hopefully moving forward, we can continue this.
So I've been around here for a while, and I grew up in the community, and I'm seeing a lot of new faces in the team here, and that's got to put a lot of burden on you as the training captain to get all these people up to speed.
The exact opposite. It's not a burden. It's actually a joy.
Okay, forgive me. You're right.
We are hiring a lot of good men and women into our department. There's probably about a third of the people here are new to the fire service.
Great.
We've been able to send them through the paramedic program, the fire academy. They're hardworking, and they are a huge asset to this township. And they're going to make this an even better place than what we've been able to do with it. So we're very excited for that.
And to reflect the quality of this fire department, that you're able to attract people, because I know there is a lot of competition right now for people in public safety, and it's hard to recruit people to come to fire departments across our country. You seem to be doing pretty well here.
We are doing well. I don't know if it's hard. It's just that, like you mentioned, every fire department right now is looking for good, qualified applicants. As an industry, there's a lot of people that are going to be retiring in the next 3 to 5 years. So there's going to be huge voids in the fire service. And because of that, every department is looking to fill those spots.
So briefly, on the open house day, maybe there's some people that came here because they want to get a gig in this industry. What do you have to do to become an employee of the West Bloomfield Fire Department? What kind of training?
Yep, the big one is you have to have heart, you got to have grit, and you really want to care for the people that live in this township. That's really number one. Outside of that, we require our firefighters to be paramedics, which is about a 2 years worth of schooling.
Every single firefighter is a paramedic.
Is a paramedic within West Bloomfield. Outside of that, we require firefighter 1 and 2, which is an academy style at any of the local community colleges. And then with the paramedic and your fire 1 and 2, you pretty much have access to any fire department to get hired. So those are the two things that we look for with applicants.
You know, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I'm a huge fan of community colleges here in the state of Michigan. I do a lot of work with them, and as I'm wearing one of my other hats, and that is really nice. So you can go to community college, you can get the direct training you need there. Doesn't necessarily require a 4-year degree. I'm sure you could do that if you want, right? And then you have the option to engage in this industry. And I don't know, something really cool right now. I mean, you know, firefighters seem to be, it just seems to be a profession that is, I'll say it, a little sexier. More people want to get involved in it. It's a profession that seems to be of very high interest to a lot of people.
It's really a calling, right? So whether it's the fire department, the police department, it really takes an individual that likes to work hard, they have grit, and they truly care about people they don't know. And when you got those three things kind of coming together, you get an individual that just has passion and dedication and truly wants to be the best that they can be.
you keep saying these things, and it sounds like a football team to me. And I imagine to some degree you do build a high level of.
But we win.
Well, you do. Now wait a minute. That football team right next door has got a perfect record, and that football team that plays in downtown Detroit, they're doing pretty good too.
That is true. A quick shout out to the West Bloomfield High School football team.
Oh my goodness!
And their excellent record out there. Please keep it up, gentlemen.
And be sure to tune into all the games right here on Civic Center TV at Lakes FM. So does training continue through your career, or is it something that you get when you just sign up?
It's really your whole career. So you do the initial Fire 1 and 2 at the community college, and they give you the basic firemanship of how to do the job. But the real training comes in once you get hired, maintaining the proficiency and the competency of all the skills that we have our firefighters do. So they have to be able to pull hose, be able to extinguish a fire effectively and safely, put ladders up, be able to carry people, be able to, you name it, we pretty much do it. So the training is ongoing. Up until the day you retire, our firefighters are out there training and trying to become more proficient in everything they do.
Well, good job. Anything else you want to talk about with regard? You got a good grip.
Oh, thank you,
like
Dave.
every fireman and fire person I've ever met. Anything you want to mention that we didn't get to today?
Just if it hasn't been mentioned, the importance of changing our smoke detectors. Remember, anyone out there, we don't want to play with fire. If for some reason we do, we want to stop, drop, and roll. And just the fact that Dave here at Civic Center TV is one of the better announcers here. Announcer, is that a correct term?
Sure, I'll take that.
And we'd just like to thank you for coming out here today and kind of showcasing all the stuff that we're doing.
So the one safety tip, if you had to roll it down to just one safety tip, fire in your home, what do you do?
I think the biggest safety tip is we love chocolate chip cookies. And when firemen receive chocolate chip cookies, we're happy.
All right.
The biggest safety tip is really keep your doors locked, right? Be cautious of strangers, and never leave a kitchen if you're cooking.
Okay. Yeah, I do that sometimes. So
talk to strangers?
Well, occasionally.
Okay.
But I was thinking about, I like chocolate chip cookies too, obviously, but yeah, I got to tell you, I've learned something, because I might step out of the kitchen for a minute. Bad idea.
It is, and it only takes really a second for something to catch on fire. So if you are cooking, make sure that you're watching it and you're being safe.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Captain. Nice to meet you.
Dave, pleasure to meet you.
Right.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your hard work on behalf of our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Phil Ross is over there. He is the chairperson of the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission. Phil, I'm not making you work very hard. You still awake over there? Got to get your microphone on and I didn't give him much warning.
Oh yeah, I'm still still here and paying attention, learning stuff. That I've learned a lot of stuff at this event.
I have too, and I just want to tease everybody who is watching right now that Phil and I are going to give you a complete update of the exciting things going on in communications, emergency communications, and communications in general, and a new opportunity for you to be able to join our brand new West Bloomfield Radio Club. It's amateur radio and it's GMRS radio. And the really cool thing about that is it's like social media, Phil, that it's been around forever, and you can engage, and you don't need some very highfalutin license. It's really easy to get going.
Yeah, in truth, ham radio is the original social media. Ham radio has been around for over 100 years. And the thing about it, social media is one person talking to a massive of listeners. Ham radio, that's exactly what ham radio is. Or one person is talking, anybody around the world can hear you. It could be thousands, it could be hundreds of thousands. And so it is truly the original social media.
And it's also very local too, so you can interact with people in your community and get involved. And if we can get the long shot of Jake over there, you can see Jake. We're going to cut to him in a second, and Sparky, the mascot, is over there too, and enjoying time with kids and having a lot of fun. So if you can open that shot up, there he is. Can we take to that shot with Sparky? I guess not. All right, but in the shot is our own Jake Schaff, and he's standing just outside the garage. And Jake has got another story for you about today's open house. Jake?
Hey guys, we're back here at the open house. Like I said, so much stuff is happening outside. You just missed it earlier, but there was a grease fire outside. The demonstration took place. Got a lot of great footage of that. Very, very safe demonstration from the West Bloomfield Fire Department. It is starting to rain a little bit, but I don't think that's going to slow everything. I don't think that's going to slow anything down. And there's plenty of more fun things to come here at this event. And joining me now to tell us more, we have Pat Donovan of the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me, Jake.
So, like I said, we had a grease fire demonstration, and now there's going to be a demonstration involving a car in just a little bit. Could you tell me about that?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing an extrication training or drill. So we're going to cut off, well, we already cut off the other side, so it makes it a little bit easier for us today, but we're going to be using our tools. We got the Jaws of Life, which is our spreaders, our cutters. So we're going to remove the other doors that are on the car, and we're going to be taking off the roof and making it a convertible. So hopefully the rain does hold out for us out here.
The Jaws of Life. I know they sound fun and exciting. They can be very terrifying, though. Let's keep that in mind. But I mean, how great is it to be able to showcase these really cool features with the West Bloomfield Fire Department to everyone here in West Bloomfield?
Well, I mean, it's the tax dollars that pays for it, right? So it's awesome to show the community what we have, because sometimes they don't really know what we have when we go in. So the tools that we have out here are actually hydraulic tools. They're like the newer ones we have. We used to have hydraulic, so you'd have to have a power unit, hoses that go out to the spreaders or the Jaws of Life, which ends up making it just more cumbersome, more work for us. The hydraulic ones are battery powered, so we're able to just get off the truck, grab the tool, and just start getting to work. So like the new technology that we have, we get to showcase it here for everybody.
Do you have a personal favorite of the things that you're showcasing here with the fire department today?
Oh, personal favorite. I like to say the inflatable smokehouse, because that was just purchased today, this year, and it was something that I was involved in. So that's pretty cool. Like, I just don't know about this rain and how we're going to put it away once it's done, but that's probably one of the coolest things I think that are here today.
I'll wrap this up. What are you most looking forward to from all the families that are going to be coming here today to check out to check out the open house?
I think it's going to be the demonstrations. I always like that. For the kids, obviously, they always like to play with water. So they like doing the hose. They got another extinguisher trainer over there. But I like doing the demonstrations. I think that's the most impactful when you see that, and actually the firefighters getting to work.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, Pat. Really love it.
Yeah, thank you, Jake. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Everything is going nuts over here. It is starting to rain a little bit, so I'm going to throw it right back to you guys, jumping back into all the fun here at the West Bloomfield Fire Department Open House.
Jake, perfect job. Thank you, guys. Good job. The hoses out there. And, you know, Tyler, I think one of the most fun experiences of this event is the kids. Watching the kids as they grab a fire hose, or they see somebody putting out a fire, or they see Sparky, the mascot. You know, they just light up. And, you know, what kid doesn't love, jumping on a fire truck?
Yeah, it's a fun experience for them to be up close and personal with these different apparatus here, talk with the firefighters, and get these demonstrations in a way that is fun for them. Because education, you can tell them fact after fact after fact. The kids aren't going to engage if they're not having fun.
So I'm Dave Scott from Civic Center TV. Tyler Keefe, of course, Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and we're on all of our social media. And this, if you're not watching it live, then you undoubtedly are listening to an archive of today's broadcast, and we hope you enjoy it. This seems more high energy than this has been in the past.
Oh, certainly it does. I mean, it's always got a packed house early on in the event. Sort of dwindles down toward the very end, but it's consistently packed like this every year. It does seem like there's a lot more people here this year for it, because there's so much uncertainty about where it's going to be in the years to come before this fire station becomes the state-of-the-art example for our entire community here in Southeast Michigan of a fire station in 2025.
Well, and the community has been investing, and when I say the community, it's not the elected officials, it's the people that pay taxes, and the community is involved and invested in protecting our community with a great fire department and newer facilities. And this one, I don't know, I kind of think maybe just of my traffic pattern, but this is probably the most visible fire station in the community right here on Orchard Lake Road, right next to West Bloomfield High School, major thoroughfare, been here for a long time, and it's fire station number 1. So I think this is a much needed update that the community is very excited about, going to be very excited about.
Whether you're in West Bloomfield or you're coming through West Bloomfield, you have a very high likelihood that you're going to be on Orchard Lake Road at some point. It's easy to pass by this every single day if you're coming through the West Bloomfield community. And so it's the most visible, as you said, probably in this entire community. I don't think that's hyperbole. It's probably exactly right. And to be able to finally upgrade this fire station, centralized to so many of our communities in greater West Bloomfield, as our fire department also serves the Tri-Cities, could not be a better time for this. And it is a result of that investment, not only by West Bloomfield Township proper, but by the Tri-Cities through the Tri-City Fire Department as well.
Sure, and it's nice to see that multi-community cooperation in our region with West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake, Kego Harbor, and Sylvan Lake, generally working as well as they can together on as many different projects, and usually the net result of that is something really positive for all the communities. So love to see it. All these kids here, they all need to know maybe 1 or 2 things. If they leave here, and a fire breaks out in their home, and they know to get low and get below the smoke. Or like I just learned, you're cooking, a cheeseburger, don't leave the kitchen, right? So put batteries in your fire detector. All these things are really important.
Oh, they're very important, and it's important for them to know too, because maybe their parents don't know. Maybe they're learning this in the classroom when the firefighters come to their school, or they're learning it here with their parents, and they're just going to bug their parents about it and say, look, hey, we changed the batteries in the smoke detector lately. Do we have a carbon monoxide alarm in the house? Hey, Mom, hey, Dad, you probably shouldn't leave the kitchen while dinner's on the stove. It's dangerous. It could cause a fire. These are all good things for the kids to know early to help keep their family in check, and for them to know later on in life also.
We've got the police department here. Yay, West Bloomfield Parks. They're here. A number of vendors. Henry Ford is here. All kinds of people here. And if you're listening and watching live, come on down to Fire Station number 1. It's a good day. Lots of activity. And bring your kids. How about 2 minutes of inside baseball? What do you think?
Why not?
All right. And I say baseball cautiously now.
It's probably
the way
better
things are
baseball
going,
than we're getting downtown today, Dave.
That's been kind of rough lately, but I don't know Jared, who's sitting right next to me, and this is the amazing Jared, everybody. If you're on camera or can be, and you can open up the shot here a little bit and let people see what you're doing. Hey, this is Jared, everybody. What's going on over here is a whole new thing for us. It's virtual television, and we are on the internet. Actually, we're sending our signal back over the internet via satellite, which is amazing. Yeah. When we started this, you and I did over a decade ago together here in West Bloomfield, we couldn't do any of this. And now, simply got a laptop right there, and we got some microphones, a couple cameras. We can do a complete live television production anywhere. And we've done a little bit of it with high school graduation at Pine Knob every year and some other events, but it's getting easier and easier and simpler and simpler. And over the coming years, we're going to be doing more of this. And Tyler, I'm really excited that we're going to be able to cover more events like this from live, right from the events. We can take our whole apparatus and go out and do our thing now.
Yeah, people are doing this in their homes too. We have people that are making careers out of making makeshift studios in their homes and doing really high quality productions. And we're doing a bit of that same thing out in the community. And the benefit of this virtual production apparatus that we have together nowadays, Dave, is we can do this anywhere. We can be at Fire Station number 1 now, and 2 hours from now have another crew out at Fire Station number 5 if we wanted to.
Are you trying to say we're podcasters?
No, I'm trying to say we're broadcasters.
That'd be fine.
We pretty much are when we post all these segments online the same day as well.
Hey, Jared, you're a podcaster. No, it's cool though. I mean, there has been a convergence so that we can do professional broadcasting and do it with some of the same tools broadcasters use. I sang that picture when I was, I will move on because we're going to do another segment here in a minute. But when I was at the Detroit, or the Mackinac Policy Conference at Mackinac Island, and I saw Roop Raj of Fox 2 interviewing the governor of the state of Michigan on his cell phone. You know, I mean, it was like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
You know, Fox 2 interviewing the governor of the state of Michigan, excuse me, clearly a very important segment on his cell phone that we're opening up new technology now.
And it's exposing more people to this information quicker also, because you can be out in the field, you can be out in the community, something interesting can be visible to you. You take out your phone, you shoot some video of it, you maybe get a couple of quotes, you post it online, and now it could easily go across the entire community in the matter of 30 minutes. What used to take you a couple hours to produce for a broadcast entity like ours.
So more on the way we're broadcasting to you, making it more affordable, more flexible, and better coming up. But speaking of people that are used to broadcasting on television on their cell phone, I don't know anyone who does more of that than our own Jake Schaff. Half of his reports in the field are utilizing some of this amazing, he's laughing, are utilizing some of this amazing technology. And he's almost beside himself right now because he's actually got a real microphone and a real television camera and actually a director and producer here. And so let's go out to Jake right now and find out what's happening at Fire Station number 1.
Hey, I make do with what I got, Dave, and it's always great to see. I'm here talking to more and more people here at Fire Station number 1, including my new friend here, Nicole Papelian from Henry Ford Health. She said I could call her Nurse Nikki. Nurse Nikki, how are you today?
Hey, I'm great, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely, this is such a fun event, and Henry Ford Health does so much for the West Bloomfield community. What are you here to talk about today at the fire department open house?
Yes, definitely. We are focused today at this table on risk reduction and injury prevention. Now, the reasons why people come into our emergency department, we want to lower those risks.
Of course, absolutely. That is one of the most important things everybody can take into consideration. Talk about Henry Ford Health's relationship with the fire department. How would you say that has grown and evolved over the years into what it is now?
Oh, definitely key pillars in the community, not only for safety, but for catching any of the problems, of course, when we can. I heard you guys talking about preparedness earlier. It's National Emergency Preparedness.
That's absolutely right.
Month, yeah. So we work with EMS a lot. Our emergency department and with the captain. We do fall prevention in the community, senior safety, as well as car seats, a whole bunch of initiatives. Today we have Narcan for opioid overdose. Any way we can lower those risks and then educate the community to do so, that's the focus.
Go into that a little bit. The opioid overdoses, you said you have Narcan available to show everybody. I mean, obviously that is a serious problem that a lot of people deal with. Talk about what you guys are educating with the Narcan here today.
Definitely. It's available through a grant, so to have it on hand, people should just have it randomly in their, I don't know, glove compartments, or if you're in any situation that could be risk, it could save a life. So if someone is actually suffering from an overdose, it blocks the receptors in the body. You have to talk like a nurse now, so that it actually undoes the effects and the impact, and it can pull someone out of an overdose situation. So it does save a life. We also have tourniquets. We do the Stop the Bleed program. So someone who is suffering from life-threatening bleeding, maybe, let's say, like a lawnmower incident or some kind of a knife cut or, yard. The most common, really, these days is yard injuries. And then you could actually stave off any kind of life-threatening bleeding and save a life that way, too. Oh, and then we can prevent with the bike helmets, we can prevent with the car seats, our motor vehicle crashes. We want to lower those risks.
You see, that's what makes this so great. This entire event here today is full of lifesavers, not just from the West Bloomfield Fire Department. So many lifesavers here today, and we are here to honor every single one of them. And Nikki, just looking around, what is just the feeling you see from everybody as they're enjoying themselves today at the West Bloomfield Fire Department Open House?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's enthusiasm, and I mean, it's just super fun, and it makes some heavy topics, right? These are heavy topics. but it makes them fun and manageable and really able to incorporate the safety and put into our lives. And then it's part of such a fun event.
You're absolutely right. They are heavy topics, but they are very, very important topics that everybody needs to know. And it's great that you guys are here to help in any way that you can. Last question, what do you hope is the biggest thing out of everything that is being taught here today? I know that might be a loaded question, but what do you hope is the biggest thing everybody takes away from here?
To make safe choices. So if we can get ahead of, again, not having EMS come out and not having fires, preventing structure fires, check your smoke detectors, make sure that you lower your risk for burns, set your hot water heater lower, because again, burns can be very injurious. There are all these ways that we can choose safety and take steps to be safer, and we should just make them a part of our lives.
I love it. Nikki, thank you so much for talking with us today. Absolutely. As I said, guys, lifesavers everywhere you look. You are just surrounded by so many people who are doing so much good here in Greater West Bloomfield, and I love to see it. Back to you guys.
I don't know which thing to talk into right now. I got one of these things here, Tyler, one of our two-way radios. I've got my microphone. I got cameras. This is very high-level communications activity going on here today.
Yeah, we have so many different ways that we can communicate with each other and with the community that we're putting on display here today. The least complicated, perhaps, of all of them is our virtual broadcast.
TV. Yeah, right next to me, Jared, just switching the whole thing on a computer. There's a lot going on. I'm Dave Scott, the general manager of Civic Center TV. This is Tyler Keefe off to my right. He really does all the work at Civic Center TV. And I've been hosting the West Bloomfield High School football games. We'll talk about that before we're done today and a whole lot more. One of the most exciting things going on right now, though, that we want to talk about a little bit is emergency communications. Behind me, you can see the emergency communications ham radio banner. We have something brand new that we have set up as a part of Civic Center TV, but really a part of something a little bit bigger, and it's called the West Bloomfield Radio Club. And this is a ham radio club and something a little bit more. And the benefit of this is that with a two-way radio like this, you can talk to people all over the community and all over the world. Ham radio is not anything new, but a lot of people have not experienced it, Tyler.
Yeah, and it's a technology that anyone theoretically can get access to. With a few simple steps, you can end up being on this communications network that, in the event of an emergency, may be that last line of communication.
Well, that's traditionally what ham radio's been. Everything else falls apart. Then amateur radio helps in disasters and hurricanes, after big fires, weather events, and a whole lot more. Been around a long time. Now we have a new system that allows you to talk in a service identical, really, very similar, I should say, to ham radio, but it doesn't require a license. Well, you got to buy it, but you don't need to take a test. You send $35 off to the FCC, and you are in. And our own Phil Ross is on camera right now, and we're going to talk to him via this service. Phil, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Dave. Talk to you what's called the GMRS system. It's a stepping stone into two-way radio communication. Next step to ham radio. It doesn't require any kind of testing, just pay a fee and buy a radio, which you can get actually unbelievably as low as like $10. And you can get involved with the GMRS community.
Well, and the really cool thing about this for our community is we have established a new club, and people can get involved in this club and then participate in gatherings, learn about technology, maybe start studying for that more advanced ham radio license, and in the interim get really involved in public service in the community. So ham radios, and now people with this new equipment that we have in this new club, can help at parades, at civic events like this. And in the case of a severe emergency, it could be our club that helps save the day in the community with emergency operations. Now, Phil, you're involved in a club that has county-wide impact. Tell us about how ham radio helps out during an emergency.
Well, the police complicated, high-tech system, and they are prone to failures. And if, as the sign says behind Dave, basically when all else fails, we have a system of communication that only requires a radio, a wire, and a power source. That's it. You don't have to worry about the internet. You don't have to deal with telephone lines, cell lines, whatever else. So it's a really good backup to what's already out there. And it also provides social aspects too. Like Dave said, I am involved with the Oak County group that helps out in community events. You're probably all familiar with the Woodward Dream Cruise. Every Dream Cruise, we're out there with those orange vests that say emergency radio, so acting as extra eyes and ears for the police. So we're very community involved.
Nice job on the split screen there, Jared, on our virtual broadcast setup here at the fire station. So, no, it's a really great deal. Come by, learn more about it. If you want more information about how you can get involved, we'll have more on Civic Center TV and Lakes FM, but just you can email me, Dave, at michigandigital.com, which I'm sure you're going to forget in a moment or two, but we'll make those resources available. If you're here, great, come by. If not, go to the Civic Center website. More information will be available there. And you'll hear more about this, a growing activity here in West Bloomfield. We have, 50,000 residents here in West Bloomfield, Tyler? And, having some backup system for communications in the case of emergency is another thing that a community like ours, I think, really needs to have.
And much spoke about earlier, those visitors of our community as well, to make sure everyone knows the information that they need to know to keep themselves safe and help their community.
All right, very good. Phil, you can go talk to somebody halfway around the world on your ham radio. Thank you very much. We'll be in touch with you shortly, all right?
Good, Dave.
All right, very good. So, amateur radio, GMRS radio, anybody can get involved. And then, Tyler, on top of it, and we're going to go to Jake in a minute. On top of it, 89.3 Lakes FM is also a very good emergency backup communication resource as well. So it's a perfect time to be talking about all this. Perfect time for you to get involved. It is National Preparedness Month. It's observed every September. This event always happens to coincide with that. Right. And we couldn't be more thrilled to continue to develop these services.
Yeah, it's important to have these services and to have these communications be made every year. This year it's a little bit earlier, but still fits in September for National Preparedness Month. And it's always a good time to talk about fire safety, as we usually do in October.
And sitting right next to you now, I think we can swing the cameras around, is someone who knows this fire department and our community very well. Pastor Hoserlin, good to see you again. How you doing, Tim?
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Here.
I assume you are still associated with the fire department.
I am. They haven't kicked me out yet.
They haven't, no. No, I thought maybe you'd be doing something else that was equally important, but I haven't seen you in a little while. It's good to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, been with them for 13 years now.
That's all.
So, yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all that.
Well, let me ask you, and then I'm sure Tyler has some questions. I asked Chief Flynn this earlier today, and he's always thinking community first. But what mentally, emotionally, and on whatever level you want to talk about, are these firefighters engaged when they're going in to a very dangerous situation, or could have one occur at any moment, anytime? They're working around the clock. That's got to have a big impact on them. And I can't think of anyone else better to ask this question than you.
Yeah, it has a big impact on them. They know about that, and I think for the most part, they do a pretty good job of handling that. I think the times when I get called in is, we'll say, if something went really bad. Something went sideways. It was something that we couldn't control. We wouldn't be able to help. So, now we need to talk about this in some ways. We need to go through the steps that we can kind of work through this to get some perspective, some ideas, and then what we're going to be doing next.
Well, we always want to avoid any kind of trauma in our lives. That's what this is really all about today, to avoid the problem. But when we do experience trauma in our own personal lives, in the police and fire department, cops and firefighters and people in the military are not immune.
They're not
to the same.
They're not at all. They do have that because, again, they face that on a regular basis, and they see horrible things happen that perhaps you and I would only see maybe once in a lifetime or experience. Again, that's it there. If for some reason that they watch somebody die and we're not able to help at that particular time, again, those happens that an individual, for the most part, may never see or may only see once in their life. So this is an ongoing situation, right? They're going into these horrible situations where they're seeing this over and over and over again. Now, for them, again, they've learned how to live in that environment and how to adjust to that environment. But again, there are certain times where, for the firefighter, what happens is that there's something that goes really wrong, and we were not able there to do the job that we think we could do. So I always think about it as, again, a parent trying to protect their child. We do all that we can, but there's some times in which the child will have some terrible thing happen. And so now how does the parent deal with that particular trauma? So I would say something close to that. And so there's ways in which firefighters can have a debriefing after something like that happens, or they would have it's a shorter thing called a defusing, which happens maybe about 12 hours after the event. Debriefing has to be about 24 hours after the event, and then a kind of like a checkup after that point. So,
well, and I know that we are in West Bloomfield, and in our fire and all of our first responders, a much better place knowing that you're there for them when they really need this help.
Yeah. And I'm thankful for that, and I think that's for me, I feel that is a calling that I have, and that's what I want to do. So, yeah, that's when I get the call from Chief, and he'll explain the situation of something
Tyler,
that happened.
I'm wondering, for all that, if he ever gets to ride around in a fire truck or anything.
No, I do not.
Come on.
I have a very select skill set, and that's where it's like I'm only called for one thing and one thing only. So.
And it's an important thing that you are called for too, Pastor, because not only do these first responders need those counseling services after a tragedy, after an emergency of some sort happens, they also have that access to your services when they just need a voice to shoot their ideas off of, which can also help them on the job.
Right. So there's opportunities that are always given that I can be able to talk with them. And sometimes that happens, again, I speak at the ceremonies for promotion, retirement, people getting off of probation. Those are always opportunities. I have I would say a little talk, and after that, there are times where it sparked somebody's idea, something that I said, and then they'll pull me aside and say, I'm dealing with, or I'm thinking about, so let's talk about this and talk it through, kind of thing. So that happens from time to time as well. So that's where being there on a regular basis, and again, those things come up if in the Christmas season, so they have a nice get together and everything like that. That's another time in which that happens. They have a Santa breakfast every year. There's another opportunity to be with the guys and during the holidays and things that we can talk about.
And it's a huge point of emphasis from the leadership in this fire department also. We know that Chief Flynn is very heavily involved in the Yellow Rose campaign, a suicide prevention effort for firefighters and paramedics.
Correct.
The emphasis comes from the top down that they understand this is an incredibly stressful job, that they do see at times, unfortunately, some horrific things that most human beings aren't going to experience.
Correct.
And that does have a real impact on our firefighters and paramedics, especially nowadays in 2025, where collectively our communities are putting a greater emphasis on mental health.
Yeah, and that's something that has really taken off, I'd say, in the past 5 or 6 years. And so slowly but surely getting rid of the stigma that goes with asking for help or talking to somebody, and to the point where it's like, this is what is good for us in the long term. Chief would always say, we're here to not hire to fire, but hire to retire. We want you to spend 20 years with us, 25 years with us. And so in order to do that, you need that sense of really resources available so you can be there for the long haul.
He is the quite a loud buzz. I hope everything is okay. He is the chaplain of the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Tim Husserl, very much for being with us today. Two final questions before I let you go. In your world, I have noticed that the religious community here in West Bloomfield is very diverse. I don't think you would have a more diverse religious community in any municipality than what we have here.
True.
Has really done an amazing job of communicating really effectively and working together. Your thoughts?
That's always been a strength since the moment I got here 18 years ago. So David Hennig, who's now has passed and was part of Colamy, and he was the first one to greet me when I came 18 years ago. And I knew that this was a community that would open themselves up to all people from all different faiths. And it really has grown from that. And the one thing that happens with that group is not only they're gathering together to just kind of break bread and talk.
Sure.
And so
that's a great start.
Which is a great start in that one. But now we have, now you have different opportunities for all of these groups. So we did one time, we found out that Temple Israel was dedicating a new set of Torah, and they were inviting people to come and let's say scribe a verse that was in there.
Nice.
So I brought a group over from Shepherd King and said, I think we want our church in one of the verses.
Nice.
So we came over there and did that. But in return, so the same thing happens in return, and we start to visit each other's activities. We start to get to know each other on a more personal level, and all of that happens. That is so unique. I've been in other communities that does not happen in other communities other than West Bloomfield. And thank goodness they make it work. Everybody comes in with that spirit. We want to make that work for everybody.
And in a community as diverse as West Bloomfield and greater West Bloomfield, how do you believe that contributes to the cohesion that we do have across these various faith communities and ethnic communities that make up our local population?
Well, I think one thing is that it all comes from all of us together. And I think to a certain extent we all have in our own way, we're all saying the same words in terms of that, and how and then how that goes out from our individual communities into the greater community. So we all have a basic essence or basic message, so to speak, and that what goes out to the greater West Bloomfield area. So if there is a problem or if there is a concern, we gather together in that meeting. How do we address that? How do we get that message out?
Well, I don't think we've ever interviewed you with the jaws of life taking apart a car right behind you. That's what that really loud noise. I don't know if it came out on TV, but we got the jaws of life here at the Fire Open House. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you for your thoughts today. And Tyler and I were talking before the broadcast. We were hoping we'd run into you because we figured you've been praying, making an extraordinary effort for the West Bloomfield High School football team this year because they have a perfect record. And Tyler calls the games on radio and TV. And not only do they have a perfect record, they've only given up 16 points all year. So if that's you, thank you.
I love to take credit for that, but I'm not going to.
Good to see you.
Yeah, 26 points in 4 weeks so far. It's been a good year for them, and they got a big game coming up this week with Groves.
Absolutely. Tyler will be covered in it. Thank you very much. Good to see you. We appreciate it.
Good to see you, Dave.
26 points. Did I get that wrong?
Yeah, 10 points leading into this week, and then 16 this week.
All right. Well, you know.
Close enough.
Do the best we can. We are here at Fire Station number 1. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe, Jake Schaff running around, Jared Goff right next, not Goff, but you know, one of those Jareds. For you, I like calling him Jared.
Close enough.
We'll see him tomorrow night, right? Jared Clark with us right next door to us, and all of you wherever you are. This is an amazing annual event, the Fire Station Open House. It happens in conjunction with a national event where we talk about emergency preparedness, and it's so important. We've seen it. Tyler, you and I have seen some tragic events happen in our community that, you know, if there had been just a little bit more knowledge, they might have at least not been as bad.
Yeah, it's always helpful to know what you can do in those precious moments when an emergency is happening in your home or out in the community. Every second does matter in that. And while we may come to an event like this and see small exhibits all throughout this fire station, all that collective knowledge can be helpful to you or helpful to somebody else when, as Captain Belsky told me earlier, you're at home or you're out at the Kroger or you're at a West Bloomfield football game. These emergencies can happen anywhere in our community and in your home, and so it's important to have that knowledge beforehand so that when it does happen, you've already got those synapses firing in your brain.
Raining outside, big crowd inside. The weather didn't seem to deter people from the community from coming here. And it's so good to see so many friends and faces. And I'm sure we'll talk to a variety of others. And I see Chief Young walking around here. You might stop by in just a minute. And we appreciate you tuning in if you can't be here in person. We still got plenty of time. It's going on until 3 o'clock today, and if you're in the area and you want to come by, we're at West Bloomfield Fire Department Station number 1, and we would love to have you join us. And there's so much stuff for the kids, stuff for mom and dad. We're going to talk more about emergency communications and all the things that are going on here, and preparedness as well. And you look pretty comfortable with that microphone in your hand, Chief Young.
Yes. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining us. So we haven't had a chance to talk on television much because Tyler and the crew are doing such a good job.
Yes.
That we've not had a chance to sit and chat, but good to see you today.
It's good to see you.
So this event, I know you've been here before. This is an inspirational event because there's always a lot of kids.
Yes.
People really care.
Yes.
They come out on a Sunday when there's a lot of other things they could be doing to learn how to just be a little bit more prepared around their home.
Yes. No, I agree. You know, this is indicative of the partnership that we have with the fire department. We work very well together. We see each other at traffic crashes. Sometimes we see each other at fires. But it's always nice to be able to come together here in a community event like this and really showcase what our two departments do.
You know, and this one is significantly focused on young people.
Yes.
Chief Dale Young from the West Bloomfield Police Department. And there's always a lot of really important education that needs to happen because, you know, mom and dad might not be available when an emergency happens at home, or they might be helping another child or another member of the family. And these kids only know one or two things.
Yes.
that they should do during a fire could save their life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, and one of those, of course, is learning how to talk to a dispatcher should they need to call 911. It's extremely important to be able to do that. Learning your address so that you know where to get help, where help is going to go to.
You know, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is such an important thing.
Yes.
And without having little kids in my home right now, I don't really think about that.
Yeah.
But what do parents do? So you've got, and at what age do you recommend that you start educating your children on how to call 911?
I think you should do it at any age, to be honest with you. You know, each child is different. Each household's going to be a little different. But if mom and dad believe that the kids are mature enough, they should start educating them at whatever early age that they can. And I would keep it, especially in the beginning, kind of, you know, very light and breezy. Maybe almost like a game so that they can understand, you know, like how to memorize 911, what it's for. And then just, you know, throughout their lifetime, kind of hit on that topic.
And what do you want mom and dad to teach the kids about how to communicate, or does it not get that deep? Are your 911 officers, I'm sure they're trained how to talk to children.
Yes, our dispatchers are trained how to talk to children. But for mom and dad, you know, a few things. When they're very, very young, you just want them to be able to call 911, know their address, and we'll send help. But as they age, some of the things that would be helpful when an emergency happens is call 911, communicate with the dispatcher, and don't put the phone down. Keep the phone with them.
Okay.
So that they can continually give updates to the dispatchers who are going to be asking questions.
So I imagine some people are occasionally hesitant to call. Maybe if they called 30 seconds or a minute or 5 minutes earlier, things might have turned out a little bit better. So I'm sure you encourage people to call if they have any inkling of a reason to need to talk to the 911 service, and not be afraid to pick up the phone and make a call. Even adults, well, I can handle that on my own. Yes. I'm going to just keep trying to solve the problem.
Right.
You know, something's brewing. You might as well pick up the phone and make the call, right?
Oh, I'd agree. And some other things that would be helpful would be to teach the whole family CPR. Because again, if there's a medical emergency of some kind, that can really make a difference.
Well, and the fire department is doing that here today, which is great. You know, it's all the essentials. It's the standard things, but we can't say that enough. I mean, there's a whole new generation of people. Batteries in the fire detectors, CPR, call to 911, and I'm sure there's some other things.
Yes.
West Bloomfield is a very safe community.
Yes.
I mean, we really don't have a lot of. We have crime here, like any community, but you know. We don't have a murder problem here. We don't have a lot of the really serious crime other communities have. I wouldn't even imply that you are complacent, because you aren't. But what do you do to make sure that you are tuned up and ready?
So we really invest a lot in training our officers, not just the officers, but the dispatchers, our whole personnel. And through that training, it prepares us so that when the one-offs do happen, as you mentioned before, although we are a very safe community, we do still experience crimes. And when those things happen, we're ready and able to respond appropriately.
Well, and you've done a good job, and you know, anytime I see your officers out in the field, they're always congenial and nice, but businesslike.
Yes. Yes, sir.
You know, I try to kid around with them sometimes, and maybe it's the wrong time, and they're taking care of something, but they do a good job. They're, you know, and they're nice and they're polite, but they have a job to do. As long as I've got you here, you get pulled over. And this is kind of a tense moment.
Yes.
You know, you got lights flashing behind you, and you get pulled over. How are you supposed to act? And are there any tips you have for people?
Well, the first thing that I would say is take a deep breath, and then just follow what the officer is asking you to do. And many times, for traffic stops, for things like, let's just use one scenario. Let's say it was for making a right-hand turn where you weren't supposed to. Is that you can expect the officer to pull you over. The officer's going to walk up to the window, And the officer's going to introduce themselves and ask you for documents such as your proof of insurance, registration, and driver's license. And then just go with the flow. If something seems off, you can certainly give a call to dispatch and just make sure that the officer that is behind you is truly the officer that is supposed to be there.
Yeah, be nice, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and stay in your car, right? You don't want people getting out of their car, I presume?
Yes. Not unless the officer asks you to get out.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Good to see you again. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your hard work, and thank you for our great relationship that we have with Civic Center TV, and keep up the good work.
Well, thank you, sir. It's good to see you.
Very good.
All right, bye.
He is the police chief in West Bloomfield, Dale Young. Now let's head out to Jake Schaff with another exciting person in the community to speak with. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey guys, we're back with you here at the West Bloomfield Fire Department Open House. I am now talking to our good friends from West Bloomfield Park. Abby Burgess is joining us right now in the program. Abby, how are you today?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Now, West Bloomfield Parks is such a good friend to the community, to everyone, including us here at Civic Center TV. What brought you guys out here to the West Bloomfield Fire Department Open House today?
Yeah, we're really fortunate here in West Bloomfield that we have opportunities for our community to come out and meet different municipalities and organizations within the community. So we just love getting to come out, say hi to everybody, let everyone take a look at what we've got going on here. Coming in the fall, we've got our brand new fall guide out. So that's got all of our programs, classes, and events all the way through December. So we're just letting everybody know how they can have fun and keep exploring the outdoors this fall.
That's absolutely right. Just because the weather's starting to change, just because it's officially fall and summer might be over, that does not mean that the outdoor fun has to come to an end just yet. So it's great to hear of everything that Parks has in plans right now. And talk a little bit about your relationship with the West Bloomfield Fire Department. How important is that to you guys and to the community?
Absolutely. We love, like I said, getting to be close with our other community partners and municipalities. Things like this, with it being Safety Month, I believe we've got some fire prevention tips happening here. It's just really important for our community to be aware of how they can stay safe, whether they're indoors or outdoors. So we really appreciate the fire department hosting items and open houses like this where a community can come, get educated, and have a little bit of fun.
That's absolutely right. And we're here today honoring the fire department and really all of our heroes in the community. And you guys are going to be having a celebration in just a few short weeks to also celebrate the heroes. The Heroes Breakfast, isn't that right?
Absolutely. We have our Heroes Appreciation Breakfast coming up. It's going to be Tuesday, November 4th at West Bloomfield Middle School. It's just a wonderful event where we get to come together, celebrate those heroes in our community and the greater West Bloomfield community. And we just have a really nice time where we can honor them, say thank you for their service, and provide them with a nice warm breakfast.
Absolutely. That's something that every single one of our first responders is going to absolutely love. Now, looking around here today, even if the weather's, a little on the rainier side, that has not slowed anything down. Everyone's still having a great time. What are you seeing on the faces of all of the families that are here today?
Oh, lots of big smiles. Everyone's having fun. We've got lots of fun demonstrations out here. Everyone's had a chance to meet Penny, the Firehouse's mascot, as well as Polly, WB Parks' head pollinator mascot, and just everyone having lots of fun. No matter the weather, there's lots of engaging things to do here today.
Absolutely. And last question, what do you hope are some of the most important things everybody takes home with them as they leave here today from all of the fun and excitement at West Bloomfield Fire Station number 1?
Absolutely. That, it's always important to remain educated. Fire safety is super important, as well as some of these tips and tricks from our first responders here. And when you're, outdoors exploring the parks, just different ways that you can stay alert and stay safe out there.
Always love to hear it. Abby, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The party is still going here, guys. Everyone's having a great time. Everyone still has a giant smile on their face, and there's still so much more to come. Back to you guys.
All right. Do you think calling a party a important remote informational broadcast at Fire Station number 1 really should be referred to as a party, Jake Schaff?
I mean, it depends on what classifies as a party. I mean, everyone's having a great time.
See, I've lost touch with the youth in America, Tyler. This is why I at our young broadcast, it's a party, everybody. It is.
I mean, it kind of is a party.
It is.
You get most of the community coming out here. They're having a great time. There's activities, there's games, there's snacks. That sounds like a party to me.
It does. There are games, there are snacks, There's the jaws of life. There are fires.
Who doesn't bring the jaws of life to a party? It is the life of the party.
That is a good party. Hey, everybody. Dave Scott, Civic Center TV General Manager, along with Tyler Keefe, who is Mr. Everything at Civic Center. I can't even remember what your title is anymore. I think it was like Associate General Manager, but that doesn't even come close to having the prestige of your position. So thank you very much for joining us here at Fire Station number 1. We're live on Civic Center TV. We're live on 89.3 Lakes FM and a bunch of social media, right?
Yeah, all throughout our social media. We're live on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, and we're live on YouTube as well at Civic Center TV.
So we got a minute or two, a good opportunity just to do a couple of things. First of all, this has been a big year for us because it was a year where we eclipsed 1 million viewers on YouTube. And those numbers just keep going. It's over 1.5 million viewers on YouTube. And community television, as we call it now, it was really very cable-centric in the early days, but not anymore. And we're able to serve the community in so many more ways now by finding people where they are, at least digitally. So if you like watching cable, we're there. AT&T 99, Channel 15. If you like watching on the web, CivicCenterTV.com. If you like Facebook, we're easy to find there, right?
Yeah, very easy to find there. Civic Center TV 15.
And when I talk about the 1.5 million views, we're actually getting a ton more views. My guess is that number on Facebook is probably about the same also, in that general vicinity.
Yeah, Facebook's kind of on the lighter side, but Instagram and YouTube, we're getting a lot of people that are watching our content, especially the short form, some of those clips from our extensive interviews on the Splash Live, and quite a few people watch the full interviews too, depending on the topic.
Yeah, I don't know how it's happening, but when I'm on my phone, I keep seeing you pop up on my phone all the time with your Instagram coverage of West Bloomfield High School football or something else. So that is conspicuous change, and as that change happens, we are going to continue to change the way that we operate. And the big thing that we're going to be doing over the next year is trying to communicate through emergency services, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but be out in the community more with our virtual broadcasting. We started our era of Civic Center TV, we couldn't go live, in the field at all. And now Jake is live almost every day using cellular technology and this new virtual technology we have out here today that allows us to go live here from the fire station. We're going to be at a lot more events over the next year or two or years to come, and have an opportunity to get closer to the organizations that we interact with in the community, like the fire department. So all the digital stuff is really amazing because people ask me all the time, so, I know you really only people that are 55 plus watch cable TV and all your meetings. Well, maybe on cable TV, but we take a look at the demographics of our audience on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram especially. We have a substantial percentage of our audience, especially in Instagram, Facebook. And I know Facebook's for older people, right? But even so, a lot of people watch your West Bloomfield High School football coverage, and a lot of that is like 18 to 24.
Yeah, people love to keep up with that, and these are important things for people in the community that maybe they can't attend the games and they want to keep up to date with it. They only have 30 seconds, they want to see the highlights. Maybe they couldn't make it out to the open house today, but when they see some of the clips from our conversations today, they'll learn something, they'll look into our longer form programming that also contains a lot of that information. They'll contact the fire department, they'll contact some of these other local organizations and continue that learning through that method too.
So Phil Ross is going to join us. He's talking to the chief of police right now, but he's going to talk to us, and we'll talk a little bit more about all of the emergency communications. But it was a really easy thing for us to get involved with right now because it just kind of fits in with what we're doing. And with 89.3 Lakes FM, which we really appreciate having the ability to put our content on there from TV 24/7, it gives people a chance to interact when they're in their car. But it's a lot more than that, because it's a tool that we have available should there be an emergency in the community that we can communicate with people. I mean, Nixle, of course, is huge. It's a service where you can sign up and get text messages essentially from 911 of things going on in the community that you want to, intersections that are closed, accidents that are happening, dangerous situations that are at road closures, things like that. But there have been and there will be a day when that system won't work because we'll have some really severe emergency. And then, having a Lakes FM available right there and being able to utilize it to reach additional people is really helpful. Because everyone's got a radio in their cars still, and 90% of Americans use it every day.
And whether it's something as severe as the COVID-19 pandemic, a public health crisis, or something that may hit close to home for everybody, like the blackout we experienced over 20 years ago.
Sure.
That could be another situation where you can go into your car and turn on your radio and get an update for 30 seconds that is right directly in your community from us at 89.3 Lakes FM at any time. And when there's a major breaking story in our community and we need to go live, we're able to do that from our studio, from out in the community, and provide that consistently by using Lakes FM, not only in greater West Bloomfield, but slightly in the outskirts of our community as well, which all connects to those neighborhoods as well.
And I know there are other FM radio stations like ours that are run in high schools around Metro Detroit, some colleges around the state. But I don't know too many communities that are operating one, providing the kind of community information that we provide on the radio station, and have it designed and set up so during an emergency it could be utilized. You made a really good point about COVID, because it was during COVID that we really learned that there was a need for all this, and we began figuring out how to do it.
Yeah, and that was really where this all came together, and we learned what the future was going to be like for media, because it wasn't just us that picked up on all this. It was other communication outlets, it was personalities online, it was other shows doing similar things to what we're doing, not only locally but regionally and nationally. So it helped provide a new form, an easier form of communication, but it also allowed us to be in the know daily and live on the air when the governor would give an update on the status of COVID-19 in Michigan. We could go on the air immediately after, recap that information for 30 seconds as people were tuning in, then post that online so people would be able to get that update and how it affects greater West Bloomfield. And so those communications continue to be really important today, not necessarily on that wide scale immediately every single day, but in the event that something like that does happen, we'll be very ready here in greater West Bloomfield.
All right, I want to get Jared, director extraordinaire, to shoot outside. So now everyone stands right in the way, but to shoot outside so we can see the rain. And it's kind of funny, Tyler, because of all the years that we've done this event, I've never seen it rain that hard and have the fire hoses spraying water like crazy. It's certainly a wet experience out there today.
It is, and it doesn't require the fire hose to get to that point. People are having a lot of fun. They're going outside. They're seeking that rain for these exhibits. And like you said earlier on, it's not preventing anybody from coming out to Fire Station number 1 today. They're having a lot of fun.
You can't see it, but the kids are they're operating those fire hoses with fire hats on and having a lot of fun, which reminds all of us that this is an event for the entire family. We're at Fire Station number 1. We're live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Dave Scott. Tyler Keefe is here, and somewhere in the garage at the fire station here. Oh, there he is our own Jake Schaff with a microphone and another guest. So we'll send it over to Jake.
Hey guys, it's great to be here. It's great to be here still. I mean, like I said, everything has been going on. Everyone's having such a great time, and I'm here with Terry Giannetti of the Optimist Club, joining me to tell us all about what she's providing today. Terry, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, and just as great as everybody else is here at Fire Station Number 1. What about you? Like, what have you seen today from everybody who's celebrating the West Bloomfield Fire Department Open House?
Energy. I could feel it in the room, and I've got a great gut, and I can tell whether people are just coming through or if they really feel it. And I overheard a lot of good comments about the fire department and bringing people together, so I'm really sold on this. I come every year just to volunteer.
That's right, and you guys are doing incredible volunteering work for the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Talk about what you guys are providing here today.
Well, today we have our table for the Optimists, and then we're helping the fire department give away free donuts. So we have talking points and donuts.
Listen, you've already said the magic word. One thing people need to know about me is when somebody says the word donut in front of me, it's all over. I'm telling you right now, it's over, and before you know it, an entire dozen is gone. It's a problem. But no, I will certainly be getting some in just a moment. But even with all of the rain and all the clouds, like, that hasn't slowed anything down. I mean, everyone's still having a great time, and you're still seeing smiles on everybody's faces, which just goes to show you how awesome this event is, wouldn't you say?
I say definitely. And we've used the fire department for a few emergencies, not fires, and I can't speak highly enough about the chief and what they provide and the calmness they provide when they come into your house and you're already tense. So I'm impressed with them, and they bring that feeling of caring right in here.
That's absolutely right. Now, as a lot of people know, this is the final major event that's going to be taking place here at Fire Station Number 1 before their big renovations that take place all throughout the coming year. What are you looking forward to when it comes to this brand new fire station that's going to be setting up home right here in West Bloomfield?
I can't wait to take a tour of it. And I'm sure it's going to have the same vibrations and the same good feeling and help that they provide.
And with this new fire station, how do you think events like this are going to continue to grow throughout, maybe beyond the West Bloomfield community, maybe even farther across Michigan?
That's a good question, because I think it will grow, and one of the things I wanted to do as president of the Optimist Club is in Walled Lake we did a community service night where we invited tables like this, but they provide a free service for the parents when I was principal there. And I would love to merge some of our activities and have, like, we had a dental table, but they actually, a hair cutting table, and they actually cut kids' hair, and the community would come out like crazy. So I would love to see it expand. I'd be happy to help.
Any final words before we say goodbye to West Bloomfield Fire Station Number 1 and it starts the construction process?
Change changes everything, and it's okay. Sometimes we have to say, hey, go forward.
Change is, in fact, everything. Terry, thank you so much.
Come have a donut.
I absolutely will. Terry did, like I said, she said the magic words, and I'm going to be busy for like the next few minutes, but I promise I will save you some donuts. Back to you guys.
All right, very good. Save me a box of donuts. No, I can't. Me? Donuts? No donuts for Dave anymore.
Well, I learned a valuable lesson. I'm not to say donut in the vicinity of Jake on the days that he's hosting the Splash. That could be a disaster for us, and now I'm prepared for that too.
Well, we are here live at Fire Station Number 1 at Orchard Lake Road, and I'm Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe, Jake you just heard from. We thank you very much for joining us here today on Civic Center TV and Channel 15, Channel 19, 89.3 Lakes FM. If you're driving around the community, the Big 89 as we lovingly call it, and social media, Facebook, YouTube, Facebook and YouTube?
Facebook and YouTube
Facebook,
live today.
okay.
You'll see a lot of this on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook in pieces in the next few days as well.
It'll keep being there. So, Tyler, we got a minute. We never get a chance to chat anymore, on TV at least. We talk a lot otherwise. But we're going to talk some emergency communications here in a minute. But while we're setting up for that, let's just take a minute and salute the West Bloomfield High School football team that we have worked so hard to cover over the past several years, and they continue to put a great product on the field. And this year, it has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that defense this year has been lights out. Only allowing, as we said earlier on, 26 points throughout this entire season. Their most high-scoring affair for any team was actually this week at Lake Orion, where they only allowed 10 points in that game until a touchdown at the very end due to a penalty with time expiring. It gave Lake Orion one more play. We'll have plenty to talk about. I'll have with Coach Hilbers this week previewing their upcoming game with Groves, but they're 4-0 for the first time since 2022, Dave, and I took a look back. It's only the second time they've started 4-0 since 2015. The last time that they did that was in 2015.
Well, if you're going to have a really successful football program at high school, college, or the pros, you need to really be able to pull it together in all three aspects of the game. And right now, and when I think back to the state championship team the Lakers had that we covered, it wasn't just the Donovan Edwards and that great offense. It was a great defense, and the Laker defense has been incredible this year. They really have a balanced program, and it'll be fun to see how far they go. They may not be the best team in the state of Michigan, but hey, you never know what's going to happen, and they haven't lost yet. We've got another home game coming up on Friday night for those of you that are watching live right next door. And if you've not been out to see your local high school football team, you should. They're great. The games are fun and exciting. We've got the facilities are getting better and better with the most amazing scoreboard and virtually any high school that I've seen around here lately. And a lot of fun and great football. So Groves, West Bloomfield, Friday night, 7 o'clock, West Bloomfield, the Swamp. Be there, and I promise, as Deb Macon from the Cable Commission steps up, I promise, Deb, to our entire audience live that it will not rain. There'll be no inclement weather. It'll be perfect 70 degrees on Friday night, right?
Well, you also said that for this. So broadcasters jinx, Dave. We got to be careful about that. It happens a lot in football, and apparently it happens too at the fire department open house.
She is Deb Macon. She is a long-standing commissioner of the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission. Deb, hello.
Hello.
How are you? I think you got to turn your microphone on.
Yes, her microphone is on.
It's just like at the council chambers now. There's a little switch. Tyler's going to help you. There you go. We'll get your microphone turned on. Okay.
Hi,
Deb.
Hello.
How are you? Turn her up a little bit. There we go.
I am well.
There we go. Now we can hear you real good. Well, good to see you. You are so civically minded. You wouldn't dare, no matter what else is going on, not to show up at the firehouse,
Absolutely.
fire station open house. You're always here.
Well,
That's a big commitment. How many years?
All of them. Let's just say several decades.
Well, it's awesome. And I know you come here because you've got a great passion for our community. And you also have a great passion, I know because we've talked about it a million times, for what the fire department does and emergency services in this community you love so much.
You know what? Absolutely. And you know what? And there's one part of my support for emergency services that I don't think I shared with you.
That is?
After moving here to West Bloomfield, there was a millage to get EMS started. And at that time, the League of Women Voters was absolutely in support of that. And I had the privilege of being the representative to state that support in one of the community's largest public gatherings.
Well, we've come a long way, baby, as we like to say.
That is correct.
And, I'm just talking earlier to the training chief here in the fire department, and every single firefighter in the West Bloomfield Fire Department is also an EMT tech, paramedic, every single one. You know, I mean, that is a huge step.
You know what, it is, and I'm delighted that you lift that up, because I don't know if everyone in the community is aware of that. We are so well supported by public safety in West Bloomfield.
We are. So thank you for coming out in the rain. Lots of kids here having a lot of fun, learning a lot. The fire department, especially the rank and file, they really seem to enjoy this event and, you know, kind of show off what they do a little bit.
Well, you know what, it is. And when I look around and see families here, I also got to see families getting off the shuttle bus in the parking lot. And the kids didn't want to leave.
No, they're having a great time.
They are. They are very, very much.
So we did this in honor of you. Phil Ross is here, the chairperson of the Cable Commission. And Tyler, maybe I can kick you out of your chair for a minute. Do you mind? And let's bring Phil over here and talk a little bit about, and we did this in large part because I knew you were going to be here, to be able to just show everyone in person what's going on and what the future of emergency communications looks like from the citizen standpoint. The professionals,
yes.
A lot of money has been spent in Oakland County. I think Phil Ross, Cable Commissioner and Communications expert, I think I saw the number was something like $60 million to build the county-wide system that police, fire, emergency responders use that connects them all and makes it all work. So does that sound about right?
I don't know the figures, but I do know it comes from the 911 surcharge on all the communications phone bills.
So maybe that's where you're fine. Maybe I'll give you a break for a minute. That's probably where some of this money comes from, no question about it.
All of it.
But to have that infrastructure in place,
absolutely,
is great. New towers, new radios. You see these little radios. Here's one of the bigger radios, the kind that the police and even more are using. But they all, you know, they solved it. This is something that happened after, was inspired by, 9/11, that agencies weren't able to talk together as well, and now the new communications and on the professional side lets all of these agencies communicate together and talk, and you know more about that.
In Oakland County, it goes way before that. And remember, there was years ago in the there was a shooting at the Ford Wixom plant out in Novi.
Oh, yes.
And they discovered a lot of communities couldn't talk to each other there, or they didn't know how. And it started a movement to get all of Oakland County on the same radio system. And I don't even remember what year that was, but it was way before 9/11. So that's where was the impetus of that. But then after 9/11, it really brought the thing home that when you get people coming from other parts of the country and with their radio equipment, and they wanted the federal government to start saying, we want them to be interoperable so that they can take their equipment, come to a different city anywhere in the country and be able to use it and be effective.
So go ahead, Deb.
Yeah, Dave, and how would a citizen get in on this? What would our role be?
Well, and nice segue. There's a lot of new developments, and I grew up in a family with a big brother who was a friend of Phil's, Chuck Scott, who at 12 years old had a ham radio set up in our house, and we were growing up on Maple Road here in West Bloomfield. And he went on to make that an avocation that was, a huge part of his life, and he was a brilliant technician. But he was into ham radio, and ham radio, there's always been, ham radio, amateur radio, has always been there with duality of purpose, or even multiple purposes too. provide a fun communication tool. So you could jump on a little 5-watt radio and talk all across the world if you chose to, or bounce a radio signal off the moon if you chose to, or just talk to other hams on a regular basis, for just like you would get together at the coffee shop or on social media and done that. But ham radio, amateur radio has also played a vital role in almost every community in our country to be there as an citizen emergency communication outlet. So when all else fails and the phone lines go down and Nixle doesn't work anymore, and even maybe our new highly engineered emergency communication system doesn't work, or just gets overloaded because no one's cell phones are working and we have a severe disaster, that's when ham radio has really come in. When there's hurricanes in the tropics, it's the ham radio operators that are the first to be able to aid first responders to know what's going on and where things are needed. So on a local level, that's something we want to encourage and see happening here in West Bloomfield, and we've got some new developments to talk about today.
You know, Dave, one of those local disasters has upped my interest considerably.
Okay.
August 14th, 2003, West Bloomfield was without power and without water. I had backup water at my house and was able to care for my family. But you know what? There were people in West Bloomfield who didn't know that provisions had been made for water stations. So I can't help but think that had emergency communications that reached the level of, at the neighborhood level, could have been really helpful.
Well, and an ice storm is really one of the things that we're most vulnerable to on a regular basis. And the ice storm that they had in Gaylord, Michigan, and the region in northern Michigan over the last winter was so devastating. Not only did it have a huge impact on the forests of northern Michigan, but people were without power for weeks. I mean, weeks without power, without internet. You couldn't, it took a week before you could go to Meyer and get water in some of those communities. The gas stations were closed. People might have had a generator, but they had no way
to fill it up,
to get that running if they didn't have reserve fuel. So, all those things remind all of us today when we're thinking about things we can do to protect ourselves better at home and get the smoke detectors working and all those things. It's all these other things that are important too, and just being able to communicate. So that kind of emergency can happen again, and not can, and it will. It will happen again, and citizens can help out.
Absolutely, and in my own way, I shared messages with friends. This is National Preparedness Month.
It is.
So there are ways that everyday people can do their preparation ahead of anticipating any emergencies, and preparing for communications has to be part of that.
So to facilitate that, and as it merges with our operation, a couple of things. We operate on a daily basis a lot of services that we operate on a daily basis but can be pressed into service in the case of an emergency. The first is 89.3 WBLD Lakes FM, a localized radio station that we can augment its services during an emergency. Even if it gets knocked out, we have a backup transmitter and a backup antenna sitting in our warehouse. It can easily go out in the field, and if everything is down, we can put that back up and cover our community with a signal, even if we've got to do some improvise something.
Excellent.
Let's say there's a regional disaster. There may be a problem in every community in southeastern Michigan, and there may not be time to communicate to every community. West Bloomfield will have some backup communications. We got that tool. Now we have two more tools. We're on TV here. we have this tool right here, and this is really cool. And I'm glad there's some people watching right now, because this is a GMRS handheld radio. And then this one here is an amateur radio, a ham radio. And there are antennas for both of these here at the fire department that allow them to work over the entire West Bloomfield area. This one requires a lot of study and a lot of knowledge to be able to work. But you can talk all over the world, right, Phil? Phil knows all about it. This one here requires no testing, no fancy license. You pay $30 and you have a license and you can talk on it. So we have this infrastructure all set up here, and we have started the all-new West Bloomfield Radio Club that we want people to get involved in. And it's a great thing for kids in school. It's a great thing for parents and adults. They can get involved in this. It's a fun thing to do. Phil will tell you more about that when I shut up here in a second. But it's also, we can practice at events like this by providing communications, so you can get your car out of the parking lot, or if there's a parade or some kind of gathering. We practice, we communicate, we have our radios, we have fun talking to each other. With social media on 1940s technology, but it's all updated, and actually the ham radio technology communicates over the internet, is all digital, and Phil almost punched me when I said 1940s technology, but it's a really cool deal. I can't explain all of it other than to say, if you're here, come get one of these flyers, get your kids, get your family involved, and we'll be talking a lot more about how you can be a citizen, communicate, and be having a lot of fun at the same time.
That sounds amazing. Thank you for making my emergency communication dreams, taking them into reality.
Well, they are, and it's a good thing to be talking about this month. And
absolutely.
And, you know, you've been a big driver to continuing to work to make sure that we're moving in the right direction. We still got work to do, but we're moving in the right direction. There seems to be some interest in the schools, and hopefully some interest in the community, and I'll be happy when every West Bloomfield citizen has one of these in their house.
Oh, my.
That probably won't happen, but we can get 20, 30, 40 members of a club. When we have an emergency here, it will make a big impact. Phil, you've been involved in the ham radio side, the more professional side, if you will, of this kind of communication, and involved in all kinds of emergencies and supporting events. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you talk about having it in the community. Up until recently, I was the only licensed amateur radio operator in Sylvan Lake where I live. And when I mention that to people, they almost every one of them says, "Oh, now we know where to go if there's an emergency." You know, people have actually know something about it, that we do deal with emergencies. And, you know, that's not our main goal, but it is our. We're very enhanced with that. That's our main community effort. The federal government puts a lot of support behind us. They've passed laws that say that the communities cannot prevent you from putting up a ham radio communications antenna, you know, because they know how important it is. A good example of that was back in Hurricane Katrina. All the communication systems failed, and they needed to land helicopters on top of hospitals to get patients out. And they won't land helicopters on top of buildings without communication. So they had ham radio operators in the helicopters and on the roofs, talking to each other so they could direct the helicopters how to land. That saved lives. You know, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole important thing. Now, we don't have those kind of disasters here. No. But you never know what could happen. You know,
if they would have only had a few more lifeboats on the Titanic, it would have turned out very differently. So we're just trying to set a couple of more lifeboats up here, and we're going to continue to talk about it. And Deb, my thoughts will always be about you when we work on this, because I know this is something you've been advocating directly and indirectly for a long time. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we got to talk a little fire stuff here. Phil, thank you. We'll get back to all this. Deb Macon, Cable Commissioner, thank you very much. Tyler would love that microphone, and we can keep working on what we're doing. And As we are here at fire station number 1, I don't know if you can see those kids outside through all the fire department people. Hey, Tyler, can you try and clear a path over there for a moment so we can see outside? No. Okay. No. Okay, you're busy doing something else. All right. There we go. Jake Schaff is waiting for me. He's been waiting forever, so we'll get to him. And Jake, take it away.
Hey guys, back with you here at West Bloomfield Fire Station number 1. Now, we've been talking to people all day. We've been talking to Alana's Foundation. We've been talking to West Bloomfield Parks. We've been talking to the Optimist Club. And it's also important that we talk to the everyday families that are stopping by here to have an amazing time. And I'm here with one of those families right now. I'm joined by Melanie Woods and her son, Hudson Woods. Thank you both so much.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. How about you, Hudson? How you feeling?
Good.
Awesome. So you are residents of Burton, it should be important to note, but you do have an important connection here to the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Is that right?
Yes. My dad served his entire career here at West Bloomfield Fire Department, and it's important for me to bring my kids because West Bloomfield Fire Department was our family, and so it's important for my kids to see where we came from.
And it's important to support your family as they have this event every single year and are looking for everybody to come out and have a great time here in West Bloomfield. Isn't that right?
Yes, absolutely.
And Hudson, you've seen a lot of amazing things today. You've seen some great demonstrations. You're seeing all of the awesome fire trucks outside on display. What's been your favorite part today?
I like seeing the cars when they did the Jaws of Life.
Of course, the Jaws of Life, always a popular attraction here at the West Bloomfield Fire Open House. Now, there's also a lot of educational opportunities here because it's important to teach kids all of these important elements of safety. What do you have to say about that?
I loved the fact that my kids were able to call 911, see how that process went. They learned what they needed to say when they called 911 and how that all works, and they have everything here that teaches them something they need to know.
That's absolutely right, and so many great things that are on display with the open house. What do you hope is the most important thing that your family takes away from being here today?
Well, West Bloomfield Fire Department is the best, and these people know what they're doing. They love this community, and they serve them well. So.
And Hudson, what about you? What is the most important thing you're going to take away from being here today?
That in car accidents, they can save people.
That's absolutely right. There are always important resources out there to save everybody. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today here on the program. Awesome. Such a great time. Everyone's having a blast here today, and we're still going, and there's still so much more to see. Back to you guys.
All right, very good. Thank you, Jake. Good job out there in the middle of the garage. Here at Fire, he's dancing, he's so happy. Here at Fire Station number 1. I'm Dave Scott. A lot of fun stuff going on inside. Also, a lot of amazing things going on outside of Fire Station. Easy. You know, I see the fire operating the hose. It always looks like it's a very difficult thing to do. Let's see if we get a camera on Tyler here outside, and then we will go to him in just a couple of moments. But it's been raining, it's been wet, and it's been a lot of fun. And the bad weather outside really hasn't slowed anybody down at all. So I think we got them all set up now. So let's go to Tyler Keefe outside. Tyler.
Thanks, Dave. I'm out here with Firefighter Lee as they're doing their hose demonstrations with the kids. They've been out here all throughout the day, including in the rain. So, Firefighter, just explain what the purpose of this is and how it does get the kids involved.
So it's a simulation here. Kids can come and see what it feels like to grab the hose and put out a fire. Obviously, we don't have full pressure here. We're helping them along. It's kind of fun. We can grab it, and when we actually hit the fire, the way it's built is the fire will swing. So it's almost like you're hitting it and knocking it down a little bit. But yeah, they're having a blast. They're coming out here, and I think it's been a good time for everybody who's shown up.
And we know that being a firefighter and a paramedic, even in West Bloomfield, it's a tough job. But you mentioned the pressure of the hose, not at its full power. When it is at its full power, just how tough is it to handle?
I can be pretty tough, especially with the 2.5. You really got to have people on it. You got to get low to the ground. If you stand up too high, it's just going to push across the concrete. So yeah, I'm new. But from what I've experienced so far, you definitely have to have some respect for it.
How have you enjoyed being able to present this with the kids today and get them involved, show them a little bit of the inside of what you do every day?
Oh, it's been great. My daughter showed up, and she was having a blast. Got to see what her daddy does. And the rest of the kids are coming here and just having a fun time, too. This is probably one of the more popular stations here at the event.
Everyone loves to do this every year at the fire department open house. And this year, get a little bit of water with the hoses and a little bit from Mother Nature. Dave, back to you.
Very good. Hey, Tyler, ask him if I can borrow that to wash my car after we're all done.
He's here with us. He can see you. He can hear you. I'm going to guess that answer is going to be in there.
All right. That looks like quite an amazing hose that they have out there. Equipment that the township has to help put fires out. That's what we see here every year. It really is amazing. The big ladder trucks, all the apparatus, the jaws of life that the fire department uses if we're in a terrible accident. The technologies for putting out fires and all of the knowledge and education that we get each and every year. I love this event here at Fire Station number 1 every year because there's always a lot of kids. And, you know, out there somewhere is Sparky, the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Come on over here, Sparky, and say hello. The West Bloomfield Fire Department mascot. Come on and have a seat right next to me. So this is the A1 challenge. You face interviewing any mascot. Tyler, grab a microphone here, and we're going to see exactly how this goes. So, Sparky, as you know, I interviewed Rory, and I interviewed mascot.
Also,
right. Never have I heard a word from any of them, only great gestures. So for those of us watching on TV, I assume that's what we're going to get today. Do you have anything to say? Didn't think so, Tyler. Maybe you could ask a question that might persuade Sparky to say something.
I think you're barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah, barking up the wrong tree. All right.
I can do this all
Chief
day.
Flynn is watching and just keeping it on and make sure that everything stays between the lines here. All right. Give me 5. Oh, a high 5. Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Sparky. Good job. Before my radio career and TV career is over, if this is a TV career, I want to get a mascot to talk. That's on my bucket list. You think it'll ever happen?
I don't think in a scenario that would be fit for television that would happen.
All right. If you're to just stand there and watch, you can come on over and say hello.
You have to fight a mascot? Is that what we're doing?
Chief Flynn, Chief of the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Sparky, very cool. What's the purpose of having Sparky? You don't know? You're not going to talk now either. Okay, smart aleck.
I was setting that joke up for a long time, Dave. I'm going to walk over. Well, we had some rain. Put a little bit of damp things down, literally and figuratively.
We're doing great. Let's talk, though, seriously about Sparking for a second. Having a mascot, does that really help you connect with the kids?
Well, I think, not just Sparky, but we've got our Parks mascot over there, too. And
I forgot.
Maybe you should have done an interview there to see if the Parks mascot will,
I would take another shot. I don't think I'm getting anywhere today, though.
I don't know. I haven't spoken to their mascot either, so... But it is, Dave, as you look back on the years of doing this, and really since Civic Center TV has become an integral part of our fire open house, I think what an upgrade to really connect throughout the day and get to speak to people in the community and the police chief and others that are in and all about the community. It really is, it's a fun day. And we see families that come back year after year after year and take the photos in the same little, cutouts and with the same people. And I've had the pleasure of getting pictures with kids when they were really little, and now I'm staring at them eye to eye, and they're getting a photo again. So it's really a wonderful event.
Well, not to get too clinical here, but an event like this really helps demystify emergency services in the fire department and the police department for young kids, and it gives them a chance to come touch and feel and understand a little bit. And if we can just leave some of these kids with 1 or 2 word lessons, today. What a huge accomplishment for the community, and may save their lives.
Well, and I think it's good for the home team here too at the FD. Seeing young people excited about seeing a fire truck or spraying a fire hose, it helps the firefighters remember their spark, their reason for entering into a profession, a career of service to community. And so there's value for us opening the doors and having the community inside on such an upbeat, fun day. Even with the rain, still finding some laughs and some joy and some great photo spots along the way. So
I learned a couple of things today that you're going to say shame on me for not knowing already. Number one is don't step out of the kitchen for a second while you're cooking. I've probably been guilty of that before, and a fire can happen really quickly, especially when you're cooking, and especially the way I cook.
Well, so many of our fires, well, first of all, I've never had your cooking, Dave, so I reserve the right to further judgment on that. But so many of our fires in West Bloomfield are unattended cooking fires.
Okay.
And so these are preventable fires, and that's what we're about. That's what this month, moving into October, that's what it's about, fire prevention. And it's all of our jobs. Fire's everyone's fight to reduce the risk of fire loss, fire injury in our communities. But it'll get away from you. People often ask us the question about outdoor burning. Can I burn my leaves? Can I burn some of this yard waste off, some sticks and twigs and that? And the answer is no, because it can spread so quickly, and we have evidence of that. We go out on those calls where it's like, I never thought it would get that close to my house that quickly, and my garden hose just didn't cut it, and the fire moved so fast. So
the home that I grew up on Maple Road is 2 doors down from your office where you work every day. And when I was a kid growing up there, my parents bought that home in 1956, and I wasn't here yet, almost. And so when I was, 5, 6, 7 years old, that's what we would do. We'd take our yard waste out into the field that is now right next. Sure. You're on the DeConnick's former property, and that field, it was right between the DeConnick's house and our house, and we just did it. We didn't wear bicycle helmets. We burned our garbage, not our garbage, but in the fall, our leaves and things, and we just learned over the years that there's better ways to do these things.
Sure, and it's being neighborly, and even back with those outdoor fires, we find people that are trying to burn wet wood or green leaves, and it pushes smoke into their neighbors' houses, and
so you still have people doing that, even though everyone should know that
they should. Cool. And again, it's just not being neighborly. Yeah, and that's where most rules come from, because I'll hear people say, well, I have a cottage up north and they don't have all these rules. The closer a community becomes, smaller the properties, the closer proximity of neighbors. We've put governments govern, and they set some rules so that people can live, together and get along pretty well. So, but aside from that, there's other options out there to have a nice controlled, enjoy the outside, enjoy the lakefront and all that. So,
other thing I learned today, how impressive was Jeff
Lekowski, our training captain.
Your training captain, and he told me, I should have known this, that every member, all of your firefighters are paramedics. EMTs, whatever the
they're all paramedics.
They're all paramedics.
That
blew my mind, because okay, go ahead.
No.
Are you a paramedic?
I'm a paramedic.
Okay, hi, I'm Dave.
I'm still licensed.
Well, no, but
I don't know that you want me treating you. I'm going to tell you, any of these guys in blue T-shirts, that's who you want treating you. Any of these guys you see walking around with white shirts on, maybe they should show up a couple minutes after the guys in the dark blue. So,
well, that did catch me a little bit by surprise. Maybe I already knew it, but I forgot it. But that's a huge deal. Is that unique here in West Bloomfield, or are most departments trying to get to that?
I would say it is not unique to Southeast Michigan. Many of the departments have that, but more departments are moving to having basic EMTs on their trucks with a paramedic. We have 2 paramedics on our ambulances and run with 2 paramedics on the ambulance. So whoever's working on the engine company that day, they also are a paramedic. So when someone rolls in, when a medical rolls up, they roll onto a medical with an engine and a rescue. It's 4 paramedics walking into that house.
Well, I'm sure that eases things from a staffing and management and dispatch standpoint. But, you know, it ruins my impressions from when I watched TV in the 70s, that emergency show, and it was very separate, you know.
I think you need to go like on the truck with us, and you guys need to be live from the fire station.
We could. Would you let us do it live?
I'll let you do whatever you want to do, Dave. You know, that's the kind of guy I am. So, but we should do one of these live, and then like get you where we could go and maybe have a chaser vehicle, and I think it just would give some insight into how we see traffic, how we see from the lens of the fire truck when you see what vehicles are doing in front from your static camera there. That can be just I think it'd be an interesting segment.
I love that idea. We should just permanently mount cameras on all of your fire trucks, and then we could go live to them anytime they're well, but it's probably too far. We could do that though. But it's interesting you bring that up, because last time we talked, and last time I was here, we spent a long time talking about how drivers don't really understand what to do when they're as a fire truck with its siren on behind them.
Well, and our team has that assumption. You should just assume that they don't see you and that they're going to be a little maybe confused on where they're going to go. Are they going to just hit their brakes, stop where they are, or will they turn on their signal, yield to the right, and then let you pass?
Get out of the way.
Yeah, but our driver training segments, not to get too close. We know that your rear view mirror, if we get so close, you no longer can see the top of the vehicle. So, again, I'm knock on something here, but I think the team does a really good job of understanding the need to get there quickly, but also understanding that we share the roads, and we need to. I'm guilty of really having 89.3 up a little too loud in my vehicle and not hearing the approaching emergency vehicles there.
Thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Off to our left, Jared, can you swing one of the cameras around, the one we're not on right now, all the way out that other door, and see if you can get us a shot of the ladder truck. Chief, if you could talk just a little bit about that. We'll have to fix the camera in on it. We can't see the ladder all the way up. But is that new? Is that been here for a long time? And how high can that go?
So the ladder is just in service within the past few weeks.
I thought.
And right now it's running out of our fire station number 5 down there near our headquarters. All of that is predicated on the fact that we're starting to transition Fire Station 1 into a renovation. But the truck just goes over 100 feet straight up in the air. We use it. What's interesting when people say, "Oh my gosh, do we have a building that goes 100 feet straight up?" It's not how a tower is used. The tower has to be placed outside the collapse zone of a building. So however high the building goes up, typically the piece of apparatus is pretty close to that far away. Right. So the operational reach of a truck like that, maybe is only 50 or 60 feet high because of the distance that it's away. And think of that big triangle in the hypotenuse.
That said, we are evolving a little bit slowly, but you have a building that's going to be built right down Orchard Lake Road here that, as I understand, is going to be 4 stories high, and I don't know if that's a new higher height than we've seen. You do have a residential complex up on Northwestern Highway and Orchard Lake Road that's taller than anything has been there. Seems like there's zoning officials in these communities, and I'm not close to this, but it seems like they're allowing some taller structures into these communities.
Yeah, so we play a role in how those buildings are spec'd, their fire suppression systems that are built into it. What's interesting, when you learn a little bit more about fire suppression within commercial buildings, it's not so much to necessarily extinguish the fire, the fire suppression systems stop the spread of the fire, and then the firefighters come in and extinguish it. So if you even look at a sprinkler head and how they kind of spin out the water, it's not shooting right at it's just putting a big umbrella of water out, saturating everything around, preventing the spread of the fire. The alarms go off, we show up, somebody has a fire extinguisher, we put the fire out. So that buys us time, and it buys safe passage so that people can get to exit stairs and get out of the building, so that we don't need that piece of apparatus to rescue them. But what that does is that has 2 dual nozzles off the front of it too, that we can then go to an aerial operation and be shooting water down, and that's all remote controlled from a walking handset that straps around the operator's neck, and joysticks, and a lot like what you do with your cameras. They're doing that exact same thing with those nozzles.
I bet that thing's turbocharged.
So
too,
in a pinch, we might need to call on you guys just to get in there and start operating some of that.
Yeah. I would love to get a ride in it. If we could bring cameras along, that'd be fun.
I feel like you know somebody.
Your crew was a little hesitant when they saw me going for one of the ladders here to set up some of our equipment today. So maybe it'd be better if one of the younger, more physically fit
Jake's been on top of that
of our team,
ladder already. Yeah.
All right. You've been up on it?
Yeah. Come on.
On this truck already? Come on, grab a mic. Steal Tyler's chair for a second. So I didn't see that story yet. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I was there at the unveiling of the fire truck just a couple months ago. It was such an amazing event. Great to see the fire truck out in the open and on display for everybody. And after the unveiling ceremony, it started taking everybody up for trips. Debbie Binder had a trip up at the top. Jonathan Warshay, Terry Weingarten, all of the West Bloomfield officials. And of course, everyone just starts looking at me and thinking, Jake, you gonna go up there? And I should mention, I'm okay with heights. I'm not the best, but in this scenario, I thought to myself, when am I ever going to get this opportunity again? Absolutely. So I waited until most everyone had a turn. I think I was the last one to go up there. I went up with Chris Mars and Mark Lowry, and yeah, it was crazy. It was exhilarating. It was one of the best views I've ever seen.
I think they have a comedic picture of that back at fire station number 5 over there, I heard. But
it's a good time. I mean, it is a beautiful view from up there.
I bet.
All that being said, if we go back to the fire in the JCC complex, it's this type of life-saving apparatus that we hope we don't use. The whole fire department is built on the premise that we don't really want to respond. Prevention is the key. We hope our numbers drop. There's no value in a fire department saying to the community, we keep going on more and more fires.
Sure.
That's not the kind of community we want. But what I think every resident does want is that if there is a fire, that the right resources are going to show up. And that's what that tower represents, is one of the many tools in our large toolbox called the fire department.
And again, the tall tower is to extend you out as much as it is to extend you up, so it'll be utilized all over the township, just not in these areas with tall buildings.
Yeah.
One other quick thing you brought up a little while ago about the renovation here at Fire Station number 1. And of course, the fire station will be out of service during that time. How long do you think that's going to be? And can you talk to us a little bit about what your service plans are during that period of time?
So I would love to see us back here for the fire open house in the newly renovated. I would. And I think everybody needs goals, right? We need smart objectives, time bound. And there's been more than a handful that have said that's a little too aggressive, but I think it's doable. I think that's going to be somewhere around the 10-month. It's a renovation, so I'm hoping we can do that. But regardless, even if they have to push the open house back maybe 45 days or so, I think the next open house should be here, and then the residents can come back and see really what they've done to this space. And really, I would love for your team to get in here maybe before the demo and do a walkthrough and talk about stuff, and then really come back after the renovation or maybe in between and walk the site and do some updates
100%
on the splash, and really keep everybody informed as to what's happening here, and we'll update that timeline.
We would love to. We did that with the police headquarters update not too long ago, and and that was a lot of fun and very informational. And I've been through your buildings, but I'm sure we would all learn, and the people that haven't would learn a little bit about what's going on here too.
Well, if we could get the Lions home opener schedule, I would pretty much schedule it for that day. And that usually works for you.
Jake's going to do this. He's much more talented at these things than me. But no, I'd be more than glad. Thanks for not scheduling any recordings during a Lions football game. I appreciate that. Key attributes of this renovation, and I'll get you started with this room here, because these doors aren't high enough for all this new equipment.
So we're going to go up and we're going to go out towards Orchard Lake Road if all goes according to plan. So that's going to take the space that you see behind us here, just with the gears sitting out. This isn't ideal. You want to limit exposure to exhaust, and you want to limit light exposure, sunlight exposure on the fire gear. So it would go to an enclosed space and a separate ventilation, and that separate ventilation allows for the off-gassing and just whatever's happening with their gear. It's not sharing the same ventilation system as the rest of the station. As we move from the Orchard Lake Road in, the space within the station, we talked about this earlier with, the demographic, the gender makeup of our fire department has changed. And so facilities inside this 1972-74 building are not appropriate for the diverse workforce that we have. Sure. And it's not respectful to the team and making sure that they have what they need. So that will be improved upon. And we're going to, I think something for the firefighters that they're really going to love is we're going to have an outdoor space for them, like we have at Station 3. A covered outdoor space for them to sit outside, to cook, do those things that you like to do at home. We want to create some of that environment here. They're here for 24 hours, and they are good cooks. That is one thing that we kind of do like to take a hit on, the cooking side of it. We take a lot of pride in the meals, the 2 meals that they prepare here a day. So, and those things are all reasonable, and we're doing them as, again, part of a renovation, and really excited to get this thing underway next month when we kind of officially have the opportunity to get some of this stuff adopted.
Well, and you were so kind to, in the early stages of this process, share some of the architectural drawings with me, and I can't tell you how disappointed Tyler and I were when they took the executive box off the top of the roof that we were hoping to watch high school football games from. I really thought that was going to stay in the plan.
I'm still trying to see if we can work in some Laker green lights along that side of the tower to see if we can get something to light up on football nights. So I think that's something we all need to keep in mind. So we'll have to switch out some light bulbs.
That would be cool. They have, and we put them on TV, they have that big light that lights up on the side of the school. I don't know if you've seen it or not before, but they've got a light that lights the logo up, and during the football games they put that on. And if you had some kind of a bat signal or something over here that we could shoot during the evening, that would be cool.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Would you get to work on that right away?
That's going to be a huge priority for us. But we love the Lakers, and we love sharing this space with the high school, and kind of how these properties all kind of commingle. We had the Fire Club this year, our first year with it, a huge success, and we're going to have another. That's already, I've seen the emails go back and forth.
So there's a high school fire club.
So really? So it's really cool. Exciting, and when this station gets that renovation, the level of engagement that can elevate with that, and that's under Captain Lekowski's direction there. So we're excited about that, and there's just a lot to look forward to in the coming year.
Anything else?
Well, I would be remiss if I just didn't a genuine thank you to your team. It is always a pleasure to have an invitation to be on the Splash, to have the promos and the safety messaging that your team runs on a regular basis. We don't know. I don't always know, what person's going to hear that bit of information and the impact it's going to have. It's very difficult to say how many injuries did we mitigate, how many fires did we prevent by talking like this. But that's an okay thing.
Well, we don't specifically know the impact of any individual story that we ever cover. But we do know that over 1.5 million views on YouTube. We do know we have a similar number, a little less, on Facebook. We do know that a lot of these pieces accumulate, and we'll take a story and cut it up in 10 different ways, so it can be on Instagram, and it can be on Facebook, and it can be on social media, and it can be on cable and on the radio. And you know, it's just funny. I go back and I look at YouTube and I start searching things, and some of these things that we filed like 10 years ago, some of the stories about some of the most heroic moments of the West Bloomfield Fire Department, are some that stand out right now. That stuff is just there, and because of YouTube specifically, it just has a life forever. So the things that we're talking about today, you know, in my retirement, I'll be going back and looking at YouTube, and you and I having conversations, and that information is relevant to people who look at it for the first time.
It is. It is. It's a great asset, and I've picked up, you know, friends of mine that will see a clip or something that your team's put up on one of the various social media outlets, or on that, and just a Google search, and it's exciting. It's exciting stuff, and I think you're seeing more and more communities modeling after what your team does, and the quality content that they put out, and the quality time that they invest with stakeholders in the community. And I really appreciate, you know, we're going deeper and deeper into our team because they're talented, and it's important for them to take advantage and leverage these kinds of conversations and get the message out.
Well, you're so professional and so nice. And for all those other slackers from other community TV channels that are watching right now, no, I'm just kidding. No, it's really nice. We appreciate it. Great to be a colleague and partner of yours.
Always.
And you know, Tyler's back there cracking up. He's cracking up. But seriously, Greg, one of the things that makes it fun to work with you is that you understand what we're doing. You understand the technology. I think we saw you shooting with your phone before we started shooting with our phones, and we're the most prolific users of phones and live hits of anyone, I think, right now. So we appreciate that you kind of understand where we walk.
All right. I see that tower coming down. I'm going to go talk to some people, so you better wrap this up quick if I need you out on the apron.
All right. We'll get out of the way.
All right,
Thank
fellas,
you.
thanks.
Thank you very much. Greg Flynn, Fire Chief, West Bloomfield. Tyler, come on over and say hello, and we'll kind of put a wrap on this. It is. Hey, we did. We made it to 3 o'clock, didn't we?
Yes, we did. We made it all the way through. A nice rainy day out here, but we had a lot of fun indoors. Unlike some of the firefighters who did have to be outside for the majority of this with the hoses and whatnot, but everyone seemed to really enjoy and have a very fun time today.
I didn't mean that. That was a joke about our brethren in community television.
I'm laughing back there because it's a tough crowd.
They know who they are. They would appreciate the comment, and I've heard the same from them. So hey, good job, Jake. Thank you very much. Tyler, great job. Phil Ross, thank you so much for coming out and bringing all the communications devices that you did. Township Supervisor, hello, how are you? You want to come say hello real quick before we sign off? And Jared, thank you very much. Township Supervisor Jonathan Roche making his way over here, and he's brought his four-legged friend. Who is that?
This is Mazel.
Oh, all right.
I call him Mazel.
Can I say hello?
Hello.
Yeah. So another successful fire department open house at a really exciting and interesting time for the department as they get ready to renovate this facility.
Yeah, we can't wait to see, once it's done, I'm sure the employees will really appreciate it, all the fire and rescue folks.
Well, and as Chief Flynn was saying a minute ago, the people in this department, I mean, I love seeing all the kids here, but the people that work in this department, I think they get as much, if not more, out of this event than anybody else.
Well, they're very focused on our residents, so it's good to see the feedback when the residents come and show their appreciation.
Anything you want to say about fire, the community, the fire open house, or anything before we say so long? We're right at the end of our broadcast.
Well, we couldn't control the rain, so sorry about that. But it's still a nice day.
It was a constant theme today coming on over again was support that the citizens in this community have for public safety. They've been great and have allowed public safety to flourish here, and we all benefit from that.
Yeah, we really appreciate the support, and certainly the support of the millages as well, that really help us provide the level of service that our residents deserve. So they understand that, and we really appreciate it.
All right, and by the way, this is the best anyone has ever done, trying to hold the microphone and their pet all at the same time while on the air during an interview I've ever done in my entire career. Good job. Good job.
He's being a good job.
Thank you very much. I'd
Thanks,
shake
Dave.
your hand, but you don't have an extra hand. There we go.
Here.
All right, thank you very much. Hey, that's going to be it for today. I don't know where I am. There I am. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Good job, everybody. Thanks to the crew here. It's so accommodating during our setup. Phil, thank you very much. Jake, any final words?
Just having a great time. Glad to be here and glad to be supporting the West Bloomfield Fire Department in any way that we can every single day.
All right, Jared, good job with the virtual technology, and thank you for tuning in. Make sure if you're just catching the end of the broadcast, you check it out on all of our social media outlets for the entire crew. I'm Dave Scott saying so long on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and all of our social media outlets. Make it a happy and safe day.